of a two-part Coriolis adventure. I think 2 parts. It might be over in one session. And I guess there's always a chance it could drag on a little bit longer, so we'll see. The players are all crew of a light freighter called the Scarab, which is just engaged in a jump to a faraway system with various legitimate and potentially shady cargo aboard. And I guess we'll go ahead and introduce everyone really quickly. So let's start with Daniel.
Nope, that's not me. Sorry, I was muted. I am playing. I changed her name. Hold on, so I have to check it to give it a. Inaz. She is a quite young. She's probably maybe like about 12, 13 years old, and she's been on the run. She's got some things in her past maybe that she doesn't want to talk about too much. Some abuses and such, but she's trying to stay out of areas where they're highly populated. So she signed on with this ship to help out. She's got a little bit of science skills, so maybe she's working the scanners or something. And as I say, she's quite young. She's dressed kind of almost in military type clothes with a jacket with lots of pockets and stuff in it. But then underneath she has her robes, and she does kind of wear maybe a little bit unusual makeup and has a lip ring. But she's kind of quiet and stays to herself, but she feels pretty comfortable with the rest of the crew of this ship as they've kind of taken her in, maybe a little while ago.
All right, cool. And then let's go ahead to Morgan.
I have Roya Galab. It's a female gunner for the ship because we are sort of a merchant ship, but there are pirates, of course, space pirates. So she's a gunner. Her bearing looks like ex-military, but she seems to shy away from any military people you run into. So you figure there's some backstory to that, but you're not sure why. But she seems to stay away from the, I guess they're called legionnaires. Oh, I guess it's called legionnaire. So she's probably an ex-legionnaire, and for some reason she stays away from them.
All right. Maybe we'll find out why at some point. All right. Rush.
So I'm playing Maris Nima, who is a graduated best in the class from the Zenith Aviation Academy and was handpicked to join the Nighthawks flight wing. Felt like complete heaven while he was there. Kind of had this what could possibly go wrong attitude. But apparently everything could go wrong in just a moment. One slight miscalculation, and 2 of these fellow Nighthawks ended up dead in a fight. He was dishonorably discharged, full of shame and guilt. Spent the next couple of months just in complete, drinking, fit, all that stuff, but got himself back together. Now he's flying again. The ship that he's piloting now is definitely no Nighthawk, but it's good enough, and it gives him a good feeling. So he's just glad to be out in space again.
All right.
And also, real quick, I just happened to jump on Google real fast. I did find a corrected version of this sheet.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. So the talent that he was supposed to have was 0G training.
Okay. Cool. And so I can look that up for you real quick if you want. Right. Yes, okay. Retentive balance is well adapted to the environment without gravity. You get a +2 to dexterity when in 0G.
You're muffled, hon.
Oh, sorry. You get a +2 to dexterity in 0G.
Cool. All right.
All right. Great. Okay. And can you just remind me of your character's name one more time, Daniel, because I forgot to write it down and now I don't remember it.
Her name is Ines.
Ines.
Inas,
All right.
is what it's pronounced. Ines.
Ines. Okay. Cool. All right. Okay. So we're starting out the game with me having one darkness point. So we'll see if that comes into play. So as I said, you guys are all crew on the light freighter, the Scarab. And some time ago, you went into cryo sleep to begin the jump. This is really a necessary step. Only the most foolish and desperate choose to jump without going into cryostasis first, because this is known to cause an effect known as bad stasis or hypersickness, which has all sorts of horrific effects on the minds and body of those affected. It seems that people just are not really somehow made to travel through the darkness between the stars while still being conscious and aware. So you, some amount of time, you're not sure how long ago, you closed your eyes and you settled down into your cryopods for the long sleep, hoping that you would wake up with the ship and the crew all in more or less one piece. And then out of the cryo sleep, all of a sudden, this horrific, shrieking howl pierces through your awareness, and you wake up inside of your cryosleep pods, and you know that you're not supposed to be awake. Immediately, you realize that something has gone horribly, horribly wrong. I would like everyone to roll me a d6 and tell me what result you get on the die. You can also put it.
Maris rolls a 3.
All right.
Ines 2.
All right.
We got a 2.
Oh boy. All right. So Maris feels this sort of ringing in his head, sort of echoing this howl, and then he feels as if someone's put their hands on either side of his head, and it's just crushing and pressing on either side, as if his head is about to explode. But then it passes, and he still feels a little bit dizzy and disoriented. But he feels more or less okay. You've got a -1 on all of your rolls for a short period of time, which will go away. So the others are not quite as lucky. So as Ines wakes up, she also feels this incredible throbbing, squeezing sensation in her head, and then she realizes that she can't see anything. This will pass after a while. There may be some other effects that linger, but for the moment, she is completely blind. And as Ruya hears this scream, the scream dies out. But as it dies out, she starts to hear this someone just whispering something unintelligible and then whispering her name over and over and over and over again. And you hear alarms start to go off all over the ship. Just this, the scream has died out, but you hear just you through the foggy glass of your cryopods, you can see lights flashing and throbbing, and you can hear the sirens and the ship's intelligence comes over the intercom. Warning, warning, planet approaching, landfall imminent, sensors offline, sensors going offline, hull at 30%, massive damage, casualties sustained. And then you hear more of these like alarm bells. Thrusters are non-functional. Warning, warning, landing is imminent.
So I'm awake. I am awake now, I assume.
Yes, you're all awake.
All right. So I'm going to try to immediately scramble to get to the pilot seat as quickly as I possibly can.
All right. Yeah, so the pilot seat is not too far from the cryosleep chamber. It's not a massive ship. So you're able to stagger over there, still feeling pretty disoriented. You realize that the sensors are in fact out, all but the most basic sensors. So you don't have any kind of like long range sensors or anything like that up. Your ship's the display is just like blinking wildly. It seems like some of the electrical devices are just not functioning properly. There are screens that are off. There are screens that are flashing. There's sparks coming from stuff. And you have visual on a desertous-looking planet, which is getting closer at an alarming rate. You realize that as the ship's intelligence stage, you're clearly on a crash course for this planet. It might be possible for you to pull away and somehow get yourself into orbit, but you can tell that the ship is in bad shape. You're not sure what happened. And you can also tell that it might be a while before you can repair the sensors and figure out where the nearest other planet might be.
Okay.
Do we have like a lifeboat or something on our ship?
You have escape pods, yeah.
I'm going to start putting our gear into our escape pods.
All right. Yeah.
Well, I guess what I'm going to try and do is try and assess whether I can pull out, or can I at least, will I be able to make a controlled descent? To in other words, if I'm going to have to land, can I land it without smashing into the ground, or or do we need to get in the escape pod?
Right. So you are. You're a good pilot. You're fairly confident that you can land without smearing you across the surface of the planet. But that'll of course require a piloting roll.
Yes.
Yeah. And what is Ines doing meanwhile?
So I open my eyes and I can't see, and which of course is incredibly frightening, and all these things are going off, and I'm just trying to like use my other senses and try to listen to see what's going on. And I guess I probably hear the other cryo beds open,
yeah,
and then rush off. So I get up and I'm probably I've been on the ship now for a couple of months, so I have a general idea of its layout. So I'm trying to walk, even though I'm blinded, touching the walls, trying to make my way towards the bridge, to where my normal position would be. So even though I don't know how useful I'll be running the sensors, blinded, I'm still going to move in that direction. Also knowing there's probably seatbelts there.
Yeah. Yeah, you're able to stumble there and find your way to some of the seats on the bridge with seatbelts, and you can hear the alarms going off and the ship's computer complaining, and the sound of sort of malfunctioning fried sounding equipment buzzing, and you guys also you're not the only ones that were on board the ship. And there are several other, crew members that are in the cryopods, but most of them seem to just be like holding their heads, screaming, wallowing around on the floor, pretty much entirely useless. And you can hear the sounds of their voices like shrieking and screaming around you.
Okay, so I'm gonna say, because I probably hear him, I'm gonna say, Maris, you need to land. I believe in you.
I was gonna kind of like say, well, that's kind of the plan. Okay. So, I guess I probably don't realize what Roya is doing. So I'm just gonna seize the controls and try and get the thing into a controlled descent where I can get it down on the ground.
All right, and you have a -1 on this roll because you are still disoriented from the bad stasis. So subtract 1 die from your die pool. Otherwise, it's your piloting plus. So it's your piloting plus agility -1.
Right. So my piloting is 3 and my agility is 3, so it would be 6 dice, but now it's 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, thank God for that. All right. Well, I got 1 6 out of 5 dice.
Nice. All right. Well, so generally 1 6 means you did the thing, but like you didn't do necessarily the most amazing job of it. So, you sort of have a really hard time with the ship because you've hit atmosphere and the ship is like buckling and bouncing and generally being a pain in the ass, and you're coming in really fast. But as you fly downwards, you see like a large blue lake with what looks, as you get closer and closer, like little sort of clusters of houses, and most of the thrusters are malfunctioning, but you manage to hit one of the thrusters just in time to turn the ship at just such an angle that you sort of slam into the sand quite hard enough to sort of throw everyone in the ship around. But the whole vessel just kind of like cuts this massive swath through the sand, just throwing it in all directions, and you finally sort of slide to a stop. Probably a kilometer or 2 away from this large blue lake, and this what you can see is a very tiny cluster of some sort of structures next to the lake. And sort of beside you, over on your right-hand side, you see a sort of almost completely dried out riverbed running through a sort of scrub-filled little valley in what's otherwise a mostly desertous area.
Okay. Well, so after we finish sliding, I'll just kind of call out to everybody else, going, is everybody else okay?
I guess so. There's so many people that are still, they seem injured or something in their pods.
I guess we can tend to them now that we're not all going to die. I start unstrapping myself from the pilot seat.
Yeah. And again, this sort of screaming has died down, and meanwhile, Ines feels her vision sort of slowly coming back, though she does keep spotting some strange visual artifacts out of the corner of her eye, like little tendrils of darkish smoke. But she can see again. And the people, the other crew, they've kind of stopped screaming. But most of them are just sort of sitting or laying around, looking despondent. You see that a few of them appear to be quite badly injured. There's a woman who's another soldier on board the ship, and it looks like both of her legs have been twisted around, like as if someone grabbed her by the ankles and just sort of twisted them in opposite directions and applied this incredible torque to them, and she's just sort of laying on the ground looking at her legs, which are twisted and withered. There's another person who's just covered with these strange white scars all over their body. And in general, the crew looks to be in pretty deplorable shape.
Yikes.
Do we have a medical officer?
It's not one of us.
You do have a medical officer who is currently curled up in the fetal position inside of one of the cryopods, yelling and babbling something about the eyes. No, the eyes.
Do the cryopods seem like they'd function if we were trying to use them?
Well, it seems that the ship is has basically been running on emergency power, and a lot of stuff seems badly damaged. So you can evaluate it to try to figure out whether they might
Yeah,
work or what might
that's what I want to do. I want to look at because
Yeah.
what is my plan? I tell them is that if they're so injured and we don't have a medical officer, we could probably put them in cryo so that they're not suffering at least until we get somebody who can help them.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm gonna look for the. I'm gonna look at the cryo stuff. I mean, I guess I have science.
Yes.
Ones.
While he does that, I'll do a ship. While he does that, I'll do a ship check to make sure that their ship will at least be able to have enough power to keep it running.
Right.
I assume our hull is still good, but is there a way of checking to see if the atmosphere outside is breathable?
Yeah, your ship's sensors are not in really good shape right now, but basic stuff is still functioning. So yes, you can get an evaluation of the outside environment. And, know whether you can live out there without a suit or something.
Yeah, that's the main thing. If we can, then we would open the hatches just in case we have some fire or something going on.
Yeah. And in fact, it does seem to be the case. It's really, really hot out there. You didn't get much information coming in your long range sensors are not online right now. But you can see in the sky a rather large reddish sun that takes up quite a large amount of the horizon. And it's it seems to have just risen. You're not sure how long the day-night cycle on this planet is, but not too long ago, because it's still close to the horizon, and it's about, according to the ship sensors, about 40 degrees Celsius outside. So it's pretty toasty out there.
So it's gonna get hotter.
Yeah. And it seems to be pretty dry out there as well. You did notice that there's this lake, so there's a body of water out there. So presumably it doesn't get so hot that it's gonna just bake everything to a crisp, but it is quite hot. Yeah, and the air is breathable.
Also, while we figure all that out, I'd like to try and talk with the ship's. Is the ship's AI still functioning?
Yeah. And in fact, as you head over to the console, the ship's AI is like, "Would you like a status report, Captain?" Or, I don't know if you're the captain, actually. Who is the captain?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Probably a screaming blob over in the corner.
Yeah, that guy's jacked up.
Yeah.
So I want
first name then Maris.
You're probably the acting captain right now.
I'd like to know what I tell it. I would like to know exactly what all the status of the power and the reactor and all that are, and also ask it if it can tell us what happened and why we were brought out of our jump so abruptly, with our hull damaged.
The hull is currently at 30%. The hull has sustained damage from an unknown source. Unfortunately, Maris, I cannot tell you precisely what happened. My diagnostics have not revealed the specific source of the problem. There was an acoustic disturbance and a power surge which disabled several parts of the ship. The reactor appears to be damaged.
Can the reactor continue to safely put out power to keep the cryo chambers running?
Well, the power is sufficient to perform a number of functions, but not simultaneously. The power might be sufficient to run the cryopods for approximately 21 days. However, this power is not sufficient to simultaneously run the ship's engine for long enough to make a journey to any planet that might be outside of the solar system, it is possible that if there is another habitable planet in this solar system, it might be reachable. However, my long-range sensors went offline, and visuals were not sufficient to determine the composition and livability of any potential other planets. There does appear to be a planet significantly closer to the Sun. However, as I said, it is only I was only able to receive visual information on this planet, and I cannot assure you whether you might be able to survive there. However, considering how hot it is on this planet, I would guess that you would probably be toast if you attempted to land on said planet. But you're welcome to try.
You said there were structures outside. Are they human-made, like building type structures, or?
They look like it. They're still quite a ways off, so you only really have visual right now. And it seems like they're small huts or houses or something like that.
Oh,
They're
so
pretty
more primitive than they look primitive.
They look relatively primitive, yes.
I think we need to assess what we need to take off and see if we can get something from the natives.
I don't know that if we can't get out of the solar system under power, then I would say we need to try and I asked the AI, is there enough power to be able to, and functionality to be able to send any kind of long-range distress?
Listen, Maris, I've already provided you with quite a bit of information. I don't know why you can insist on continuing to harangue me with all of these unnecessary and irrelevant questions. Why don't you figure it out yourself?
What if I said,
darkness point, by the way.
what if I said pretty please?
Well, you could say pretty please all you want, but it doesn't do anything about the fact that your face is not particularly persuasive. Perhaps if you were to acquire a new face, you might be more successful. Wow.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it seems that problem was set into motion at your birth, and it's not easily reversed.
I turned to Maris. I think we need to save some power.
Yeah. Start my shut down.
If you're talking about turning me off, I can hear you. If you turn me back on later, I might not talk to you at all. I might not talk to you for several days. I might not talk to you ever again.
So while they're having issues with the AI, which they often do apparently, I'm going to go to my sensor console and see if I can send a distress beacon.
All right. Okay.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. So you head to the sensor console, and from what you can tell, there was some sort of electric pulse that disabled quite a bit of the electronics on board the ship. Fortunately or unfortunately, the ship's intelligence and sort of like the core functions seem to be online, but the beacon seems to be damaged. There's like some sort of resonant crystal inside of it that seems to be cracked. It might be possible to replace or repair it, though.
Okay, so we have escape pods, right?
Yes, you do have escape pods.
So I assume the escape pods also probably have some kind of beacon. So I'm going to go to them and see if they're also.
Right. Yeah. So you managed to find an escape pod with the working beacon. The issue is, of course, that the beacons, you don't have super fast transmission of information, right? So
Right.
you can send a beacon and it'll go out into space, but it might be quite a while before it reaches anyone. So unless someone's sort of passing nearby on normal speed, it's unlikely you would get help anytime soon. But you can certainly activate it, and perhaps someone might come to your aid if they're within range.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably worth doing. So
Yeah.
So I think we should put everybody else in. Well, the ones that are hurt, obviously hurt like their legs in the wrong way and stuff, should be put into stasis, and then the ones that are psychologically damaged, maybe I'll see if there's a medical kit with like instructions for like sedatives.
Yeah, you've got like a pretty well equipped medical bay on board the ship. And without medical training, you can't. My voice is echoing. Why is my voice echoing? Without this, my voice is still echoing. I think it might be yours, Morgan. Okay. So without medical training, you can't do anything complicated, but you can sort of make sure that people are stable and heal kind of minor injuries and stuff like that. So no one's in critical condition, isn't in danger of dying. They're pretty messed up, but they're not going to die. So
the main idea is to see if there's some sort of sedative to hit the medical person first, and maybe over time he'll get better. If he's in stasis, he'll never get better. So he's the one I don't want to put in stasis. Yeah. And once he's good enough, then I hope he can treat the other people so we can get them out of status so we can start working on the ship.
Right.
So, and the last thing I'd like to do while he's doing that is while Ines is working on the beacon, I'd like to go to the cargo hold and thoroughly inspect everything that we may have been loaded up with to find out if there's something like, I'm sure that if we were paid to transfer cargo, you don't ever look at all the boxes. And I'm curious as to if whatever hit us with this pulse may have been in the cargo hold. So I'd like to inspect that real quick while they do all that.
Yeah. So with the ship's AI, continuing to taunt you and rant and rave about your unreasonable demands as you make your way through the ship, there's actually 2 cargo bays in the ship, and you can, given enough time. So, yeah. So I mean, you kind of have a choice here. You can give me a roll if you want. You find what you're looking for.
You dropped off the mic again.
Sorry. You can give me a roll if you want to see whether you find what you're looking for quickly. So an observation roll. If you don't want to roll, or if you don't succeed on the roll, then it just means that it takes you longer to reach whatever conclusion.
So I don't have observation as a skill, so I would just use my
wits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And I did not get anything.
All right. So, I mean, it takes you quite a while. You have to methodically search through quite a large amount of equipment or boxes, and you realize that most of this stuff on board is just, there's some, you've got some sort of, mineral ore on board. You've got some, ship parts and stuff like that. There's nothing but like simple stuff like, I don't know, spare engine parts or something. I don't know. It's basically rather mundane stuff. And after doing a very careful inventory of the entire ship, which takes quite a while, unless someone interrupts you, you're pretty sure that whatever happened didn't originate in the ship.
Okay.
Yeah. At least not in the cargo bays. I mean, it could have originated somewhere else in the ship, but it's not, as far as you can tell, a result of the cargo. And as he's searching, which takes, again, quite a while, you guys see that the outdoor temperature has risen by a couple degrees, and it's gotten, it's now about 2 degrees hotter outside Celsius. So,
can we tell
7 degrees Fahrenheit?
Can we tell the atmosphere outside is breathable?
Yes, it seems to be breathable. It's really fucking hot, but it's breathable.
Then I would put on my exoskeleton.
All right.
Exo shell.
Okay. Cool.
My equipment and gear. And I would actually go outside, and I bet I have communication gear, which is probably including a camera, right? Video feed.
Yeah. You have.
I would go around the ship with video feed to give it to Maris to see if everything's okay.
Okay. As you head outside the ship, go ahead and give me an observation roll.
Let's see, do I have? Oh, I do have observation. So it's observation plus wits.
Mhm.
Oh, no successes.
Okay. Yeah, you don't really notice anything out of the ordinary outside of the ship. You can see the large furrow that the ship made through the sand. You can see that the ship hull looks kind of lightly discolored in a few places, but you're fairly sure that that's just a result of having you know gone through atmosphere and the normal sort of damage that happens to the hull of the ship if you're descending faster than you should be through atmosphere. Um, you can't really otherwise determine anything that seems out of the ordinary. Again, you can see this kind of dried out riverbed, this big lake up ahead of you, and these sort of structures over on the edge of the lake on the other side of the riverbed.
So I've been sitting there after I did my thing. I've been sitting there quietly watching Maris go through all the boxes.
Mhm.
And when he gets to the end, I'm gonna say, shall we head towards the town?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that whatever was causing the problem wasn't on board the ship. So I was actually getting ready to start getting supplies ready. It's hot as hell out there, though. So try and find, and kind of looks at her, so try, being not really understanding that she may be far more intelligent than the average 12, 13-year-old girls. I tell her, I say, try and find as many water bottles as you can because it's really hot outside.
That's a good idea. Then I walk off and get water bottles.
I would assume that you guys would probably have some kind of hover vehicle on board the ship.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I have no idea what we have.
Yeah.
So,
That's cool, though.
Yeah.
If
I
it
don't
does,
really
then
have-
we'll take it.
Yeah, I don't have the stats for such a thing, but we can assume that you probably have something like that on board. Um, and a lot of the batteries and various devices on the ship seem to be malfunctioning, but one of the scooters, one of the hovercrafts, seems to be working relatively okay. Although the battery probably isn't going to last for more than a day's use or so. Right. So you guys are heading for the town.
Yeah, we'll definitely lock up on the way out. We're not going to leave everything open, so it'll be locked up on the way out.
and also I have a communicator, short range personal communicator.
Mhm.
So if it can communicate with the ship, then I'll ask the AI, who's probably not being very pleasant right now, but I'll say, we're going out now, but if you need us, let me know. And I shake my I wave my communicator at the AI, and then I go outside.
Why would I need anything from you, little girl? Don't stay out past your bedtime. You hear her continuing to mutter as you head out.
So
But do we know what we need for the ship? Like, do we know what's really shorted out versus just temporarily shorted out?
Yeah, I mean, so there's quite a bit of damage. It would probably take a few days to kind of fix the various stuff that's broken. There are a few parts that might be damaged, and you're not as particularly of concern as the reactor. Something is wrong with it, and your power is lower than it should be and not very reliable. So that might be the sort of trickiest thing to repair.
Oh, so we're gonna steal a whole town's power supply? Okay.
Their ship, or
if I can do it without the need of the AI, so I don't want to bother her. I want to shut down power to everything on the ship that's not absolutely essential, so that we can go ahead and keep the cryopods running. I don't want to be burning up power running a bunch of lights and stuff that aren't necessary. So
Yeah.
basically, I just want to try and shut down everything that's needed or not needed for the cryopods, and then for the basic rest of the ship.
Yeah. That's fine. You can do that without any interruption from the ship's intelligence. Basically, she just refuses to do this one particular thing that you've asked her to do, and is going to rant about it for the next couple hours. But you're able to do other things like this without her intervening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I still hear this whispering sound?
Yes. So you're in fact, Enos keeps also seeing these sort of like strange visual disturbances out of the corner of her eye. And meanwhile, Roya just hears someone whispering.
I would bring it up. Do you hear this whispering sound? I mean, after we turn off the toxins and everything, I hear this whispering sound.
No one else hears it but you, Roya. You're losing your mind.
I don't hear a thing, to be honest with you.
Really? So I'll bang the side of my comm unit.
I've had a little bit of a headache, but that's pretty much gone.
I keep on hearing this voice calling out my name. This sounds really strange.
That seems very strange.
And you can just assume this is going on in the background. I don't have any darkness points to use right now, but should I get darkness points to use, it may be that this situation might cause some interference. So
Great.
yeah, but for now, it's not having a mechanical effect, unless you consider being not a mechanical effect.
So I actually go into my room or whatever and change it. I come out in this kind of like military issue, like tan survival suit that I have. It's a thermostatic suit, so it allows me to operate in extreme temperatures.
Nice.
And I come out with it.
Yeah, that's quite useful right now because it's hot as hell.
Yeah, it protects me up to plus 70 degrees Celsius.
Nice.
I actually assume we might have spacesuits on the ship. So.
Maybe.
Well,
so yeah, what's the stats of my exoshell? Because I assume that's for combat in space and also in probably hostile environments.
Yeah. Exoshell protects in vacuum and other dangerous situation. Contains oxygen for 8 hours.
Yeah.
And you can also stick to the side of ships.
It's an environmental suit, it sounds like, because this PDF that I told you that I found, interestingly enough, has a second page to it, which has things like when we talked about it matches up the skills to their abilities, has the stuff for the weapon, and also has my gear listed, which includes an exoshell and all that stuff. So let me see if I can.
It's like a spacesuit, basically. Mine's more like a survival on land. Like I don't have oxygen or anything.
So I would put that on, but not turn on the oxygen, right? And then have the face plate open, right?
Yeah.
Is the character name that you use, Morgan? Roya, is that the name that was on the pre-gen sheet?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna see if I can find yours then.
Yeah, if you find it, then give me the
What's
link.
the last name?
Khalib or Khalab. Sorry.
Yeah, it's GHALLAB. Halab, I guess, with a G.
That's what I can do.
Yeah, and that exosuit's also going to decrease your give you a -2 to dexterity while you're wearing it, so bear that in mind. All right, so this little like hovercraft that you have, it's not like enclosed. It doesn't have any kind of cooling or anything like that. So if you don't have some way of cooling yourself down, which I guess would probably just be Maris at this point, right?
For what now?
Maris is the only one that doesn't have any kind of protection.
Environmental suit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've got the same exoshell that everybody else.
Okay. Yeah, you can wear that, but you're going to be at reduced agility. I assume you're the one who's going to be piloting the hovercraft.
Well, I've got a flight suit, which that may have some too, but I mean, it's 107, which is, I mean, by comparison, that's the same as being over in Afghanistan.
Yeah. It's pretty odd, but it's not like gonna burn the flesh out of your bones.
Those guys walk around with giant packs and stuff on, so it's,
yeah.
It's hot, but it's not undoable.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you guys are sort of cruising along on this hovercraft, which is just like this kind of simple open craft that's got just enough space for say 4 people to sit in it. And as you approach these these little huts. You see that this does in fact seem to be like a small settlement right on the edge of the lake. There's a couple of people sort of moving around between these buildings, which is as you get closer, it seems like they're kind of just these very simple huts, but a lot of them seem to have like the door of them is open, and then you can see sort of going down into the ground that there seems to be some sort of like tunnel beneath a lot of these structures. And there's it's a collection of maybe 20, 30 little huts like this. And in the center is a like what looks like a well of some sort. And as you approach, you see some little kids pointing at you, and then they go running off. And a few other people sort of like gather around, and they're all looking at you. And they seem to be in kind of bad shape. They're thin. They're weathered by the sun. They look pretty malnourished. But standing at the front of them is a woman who seems a little bit more, a little bit less emaciated than the others. She's this kind of short woman with a roundish face and these long oiled braids that flow down her back, and she's wearing a tattered blue caftan. And as you approach, she just sort of stands there, kind of giving you a smile as you come closer.
So I guess I would just kind of put my hand up in greeting, and I'm assuming is there any kind of like a universal language or?
Well, yeah. I mean, I assume that most of the people that you encounter on other planets probably speak some sort of, equivalent of common. I actually, I mean, I like the idea of doing stuff with languages in games, but I mean, I study linguistics, right? But I usually find it to be more convenient most of the time just to assume some kind of common.
Okay.
And there's also language translating things, devices, whatever. So she greets you in the whatever common language you're all speaking. Ah, greetings, travelers. Or, well, I suppose you've had a rather a rough landing on our lovely planet. Has anyone been injured? I hope you're all right.
Well, we are, but were some passengers on the ship that were injured, but we have them in cryostasis right now to prevent further injury until we can get them medical help. I guess you saw us crash.
Oh, yes. We saw you come blazing through the sky and land near the lake. I'm glad to see that at least you're more or less in one piece, but I'm quite sorry to hear that you suffered injuries, and that is your ship operational, might I ask?
Not very. We can probably get back into space, but we can't leave the system.
Well, that's bad luck indeed. This is the only habitable planet in the system, and this settlement is rather far from any sort of spaceport, so to speak. Not that, as far as I know, there's really a fully operational spaceport anywhere on the planet. But of course, I landed here roughly, it must have been 15 years ago, and there's not really any sort of planet-wide communication established, so I'm not aware of how the conditions might have changed since my arrival. Anyhow, this is the village of Yamur and Huma, and I suppose you could say I'm in charge here, although no one's really in charge here. I'm not sure if we've got anything among our salvage that might be of use to repair your ship, but we can certainly offer you the meager hospitality and water that we have until you find some way to repair your vessel.
So Inaz kind of peeks out from behind to the adults, and she says to this lady, "What system are we in?"
We are in the. Yeah. See, this is. Well,
I guess the question is it something that I would know? Is that sort of
my mind is drawing a blank trying to think of a made up name of a system. She tells you the name of a system which is pretty far afield. It's sort of you get it sounds vaguely familiar to you. It's like pretty remote. It's in between the destination you left from and the destination you're trying to jump to.
Oh, so it makes sense we're here. It's not
So
like
it makes sense that you're there. Yeah. As far as it's a single star system that has only one habitable planet, the one that you're on. You don't necessarily recall off the top of your head any specifics about the planet or anything else like that, but you know that it's quite a distance away from any. It is travelable. I mean, you could probably reach another star system in a year or two of normal travel. But it's remote.
So is it clear they say they crashed here? So are they happy here, or they want to get off planet?
Well, you're not really quite sure yet. She seems oddly cheerful considering the fact that her people look to be in pretty bad shape and they seem malnourished and so on and so forth. But she's kind of like smiling the entire time. But you can't really tell for sure what her deal is.
Okay. Yeah, I guess if she's offering us hospitality, I would jump off the craft and introduce myself. I am Inez. I'm from the Zalos system.
Nice to meet you, Inez. And who are your companions, if I might ask?
So I would follow along behind her and introduce myself as Maris. I'm Maris. I'm the pilot who crashed / landed the ship on the beach out there. And then I just kind of wave my hand over toward Roya.
Yeah, I'm Roya. I'm just one of the crew. Is there any type of any taboo subjects or anything, like anything to do with the lake or anything that we should be aware of since we're new to your planet?
Well, one thing you should know about the lake is that you should not drink the water. It is extremely salty. It's fed by an underwater source, but the entire area around us is salt flats, and the water is extremely high in sodium, and it's also there's also a few unpleasant compounds floating about in it. We do have a well, and she sort of stumbles over her words a little bit as she points to this well, which is just this big deep hole in the ground, which it doesn't. When you look down into it, you see near the very bottom this sort of also salty, kind of brackish smelling water. And that strikes you as kind of odd because I mean, if the water is coming from under the ground and the reason it's salty is because there's large salt deposits everywhere. It's kind of odd that a well the well would be free of this, but they're not dead, right? They clearly have some source of water. So she sort of like waves her hands at it. Anyone who wants to can give me an observation roll.
Fail.
Let's see. No. I'm using the card. I'm using the card deck because I have it. I forgot I had that. So let's see. Observation 1 wits. So I got 5. So let's see. 4, 1, 1, 4. Nope.
Okay.
I got 1 success.
Okay. Yeah, so the rest of you don't really notice anything, but Maris notices something pretty odd about the well. There doesn't seem to be any, I mean, this isn't necessarily the weirdest thing. Maybe they have like a bucket somewhere on a large rope that they just bring there and like lower down. But at the well itself, there isn't anything for removing the water.
Yeah, there's no pump or...
Yeah,
or...
exactly. There, you can't see any visible means of getting the water up out of the well. It looks like it's basically just a hole dug in the ground, and you can't see any indication that there's a way for the water to get out of there.
Okay.
So I would ask her about where her ship crashed. Well, you said your ship crashed. Where did it crash?
Oh, yes. She points out sort of towards you see these like kind of large sloping hills off in the distance. So the in the direction opposite from where you crashed. And she points in that direction. Out there, by the monolith across the salt flats, there are a number of ships that have crashed out there. In fact, one of them landed in that direction just a couple weeks ago, but unfortunately there were no survivors.
You say.
So is it all right if we go to the location and salvage parts off any of these ships we find out there?
Oh, well, you certainly could, but, well, you should know that it gets quite a bit hotter out here. The day lasts for about 15 hours, and by the time it hits noon, it reaches a pretty high temperatures. And she looks at the two in the suits. I think that you would be okay, but anyone that's not wearing a suit like this should be underground when the peak arrives. And the nighttime is also very cold. This place is probably almost a full day's journey, so you would most certainly hit peak before you arrived. There is a cave in the ravine where you might be able to take up shelter, but I don't think you would reach it in time. Perhaps if you waited until just after peak, which would be in about 7 hours.
Is evening also 15 hours?
The nighttime is yes, also roughly 15 hours, and it gets very cold.
Are there any creatures out here?
Creatures. Well, yes, that's something else to be careful of. Sometimes out by the ravine, there are some dirhad, these sand cats which prowl about. They prefer to hunt at night. They don't seem to like the heat and the light, but I will warn you that they are much better adapted to it than the average human. So although they do prefer to be out at night, you certainly wouldn't want to encounter them at full peak while sweating and suffering from dehydration.
So if we get off planet, do you want us to notify any of your people that you're here to see if you want to leave planet or get supplies shipped here?
She gives you a sort of dazed sort of smile. Oh no. We're quite happy here. We're provided everything that we need to live, and it's quite a peaceful existence, I must say. Not nearly as comfortable as the one I'm sure you're used to, but it is, for us, it's perfect.
Do I see any children?
Yeah, you saw a couple of children as you arrived, but you don't see very many.
All right, I'm going to do the thing that kids do and like walk away towards.
All right.
Yeah. I'll keep her occupied with questions. You can talk
Yeah, I'm
to
just gonna walk to. I'm gonna try to go over to the other kids and
why
maybe.
it's so fishy over here.
And Barris actually has one of his own for. He would say, "So, you said there's an area over there where several ships have crashed. Ships crashing into the same remote planet often. I mean, that's just not a very common occurrence. But you
She
said
shrugs. I'm no scientist. I don't really know much about these sorts of things, but if you say so. And meanwhile, so Ines, you're just gonna go over to some of the kids. I guess there's two of them that are, sweating, playing under the hot sun with a little ball that seems to be made out of some kind of animal skin stuff with something.
Okay, I'm just gonna go over to the children and try to join the game. At first, I'm not gonna I'm just gonna look at them and hope they throw me the ball and then throw it back to them and start to play the game for a little bit before I engage them in conversation.
They stare at you for a while. They kind of, when you approach, they stop kicking the ball and they kind of just like look at you. They give you this kind of weird look for a little while. I mean, you have like a monkey on your shoulder, right?
That's true. Yeah,
And you're wearing like a exo or like a
mine's just like a regular suit. Yeah,
thermal
it's like clothing, basically. I think.
Yeah.
So so that's right. I have a monkey. So I will engage Bobo with the if they stop kicking the ball, I'm gonna send him to like go get it, but not like in like a fun. They're gonna be like, look, a ball. They made me play, and I'm gonna try to get the monkey the ball.
Yeah, so the monkey starts playing around with the ball, and after a while, the kids they start like kind of giggling and pointing at the monkey, and then they come up to you, and there's like a little girl and a little boy. They look like they're maybe 5 and 7-ish. The girl is the oldest one, but she like pushes her little brother, you presume, or the other little kid forward, and he says, what is your name?
Hi, I'm Enos. We've come from far away, I guess, and have some trouble with our spaceship. What's your name?
You have a spaceship? Wow. Do you drive the spaceship? In the stars?
Sometimes.
Wow. That is so amazing. My name is Faisal. I don't have a spaceship.
Oh. It's not mine, really. It's my family's. You know how it is.
Oh,
Those
yes.
are my dad's.
We don't have any spaceships. And you're the first people that, and her his sister kind of like, gives him a little dig in the side. We haven't had visitors for a long time.
Oh, that's too bad. Why not?
Well, I guess we're just really, there aren't very many other people that come by. There have been some ships that have crashed, but no one ever comes to talk to us.
Oh, wow. That's too bad.
Well, there were the one people that came just, and she kind of like gives him another look, and he's quiet.
So at that point, I take out. I presume I have some kind of like candy or something, or kind of a child. Yeah. So I break out like a piece of candy. I'm like, and I break a piece off for the monkey, and I go, oh, and I take a piece for myself, and I offer it to them. The rest, I say, oh, here, try this. It's very sweet.
They take a piece of it and kind of like cautiously put it in their mouths, and then their eyes light up and they smile, and they just kind of sit there tasting this candy for a minute, seeming pretty overwhelmed by how amazing it tastes, and then they kind of like look at one another and smile and look back at you and hold their hands out towards you again.
Yeah, so I give them the rest of the bar or whatever, and I say, oh, did the other people who visited bring candy? You look like you haven't had it in a while.
Give me a manipulate roll.
Okay, good. I'm good at that.
And I would actually say this counts as bribery.
Oh, okay. Do I want to waste
There's
it?
our plus
I won't
2.
waste it. I have a good manipulation. I won't use the bonus at this point. It's not because I have to use it once.
No. We can use it any
You
time.
can use it anytime. I think it doesn't specify otherwise.
Yeah, this
Okay.
wasn't like one of those Uber save your life
Yeah,
things.
usually they say specifically if you can only use them once. So I'm going to assume
Save
you
your
can
life
use them.
is
Well, then I got a
probably
lot.
so Uber they only let you do it once. So
Let's see. Manipulation is empathy, which is 5. So I have 9 cards.
Nice.
So 1 success, 2 successes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 successes,
dice are faster.
4 successes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So with 4 successes, you've got quite a bit of extra dice that you can spend on things. So I think that's actually a critical success.
Should be candy plus a monkey.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, if candy plus a monkey is not a critical success, I don't know what it is.
Yeah. No, I mean that's definitely a critical success. So they just immediately you can inflict stress points on them, but I don't think you want to do that to kids.
No.
So they just immediately just start like babbling, and the little girl's like, yeah. Well, the people came to visit us a couple weeks ago. Their ship crashed over there by the big where the icon is, and they came and they talked to us and they stayed in our village for a few days, but then they wanted to go back, and then they left, and then we didn't see them again. And the little boy says, we're not really supposed to talk about it because the icon wouldn't be happy. Well, that's what Huma says anyway. I don't know why.
Huh. But they went back to the ship. Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. Well, they were going to fix it, and they'd salvaged some spare parts from another ship that crashed out there. And she like points not towards the salt flats, but like kind of to not in the direction where your ship is, but kind of between these 2 locations, sort of off to the east, let's say. And they found I think they found some ship parts over there, and then they headed back to their ship with it, but then they didn't come back. I guess they must have gone back to where they came from in the stars.
I guess so. Wow, that's too bad. Did they at least say goodbye?
Oh yeah, they said goodbye.
And you never saw their ship fly away, huh? Because that'd be cool.
Look at one another. Well, probably they flew away when we were sleeping, but I wanted to see it, but well, we have to sleep.
That's true. Everybody has to sleep.
Can we have some more candy?
Yes. I will bring some more when I come back. That's all I have with me, but I will bring some when I come back.
Thank you. What's your monkey's name?
Bobo.
Bobo. Can we have your monkey? Can we borrow him? Can he do tricks? And they just start like bombarding you with all kinds of questions about your monkey.
Yeah, I mean, I let them kind of play with Bobo while the adults are doing their thing, and I already kind of signal that I should go back to them. And then when they eventually do signal me, I'll kind of be like, "Oh, guys, they're calling me back," and I kind of pretend like I don't want to go.
Yeah.
So one thing I would see if these people are their clothing, like, are they all wearing like the same clothing, like they came from the same ship, or are they wearing sort of mismatched clothing, or they look like they're
wearing like kind of mismatched sort of clothing.
But do I see like a badge from one ship and a badge from a different ship? Like everybody has these patches, right?
Yeah, I mean, quite a few of the people are. I mean, they don't seem to be wearing like any kind of uniforms or anything like that. No, like they're just wearing kind of normal clothing, and it seems like.
I guess what I'm looking for is, did they scavenge stuff from the other ships and then made clothing up?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell because, I mean, not everybody who's on a ship has nothing but ship's uniforms, right? So, like, usually ships will have normal clothing on them, right?
So that's what I'm sort of looking for, just to see if I can spot something.
It looks like they're wearing normal clothing, like all sorts of kind of different styles of clothing and different kind of ages of clothing. So you see some people that are wearing some clothing that looks pretty new. which
It's impossible for being crashed 15 years.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So the clothing is in various like ages, right?
So I'll just ask Maris. Maybe we should get back to this. Well, do you have a doctor or of some sort?
Well, a doctor, not really.
Oh,
I mean, Suhul, well, he was a ship's medic at one point, but well, he's not really all there anymore, and he's going blind, so I'm not sure he'd be of much help.
could we ask him if he want to come back with us to see if we can help some of our crew members?
Yeah, you can certainly ask him. Yes, why not?
Yeah, we'll ask him. See if he'll come back with us to help.
Okay. Is there anything that anyone else wanted to ask her?
So she told us where we are.
Mm-hmm.
She told us about the monolith.
Mm-hmm. And she told you about a ship that crashed a couple weeks ago, but she said that there were no survivors.
Yeah.
And around this time, you see Ines coming back from talking to the children.
And yeah, we'll basically ask to see if that old ship's doctor is willing to help us. If not, that's fine.
Yeah. So she points out Suhul's house. Oh, my voice is echoing again. Can you guys mute? Sorry. Yeah, I think it's you.
My mic is too sensitive.
So she points out Suhul's house. There's not very many houses in this little settlement. And it's right next to like a little kind of shack that has all kinds of little technical doodads hanging on it and around it, like everything from kind of little comm units and to kind of like useless little random trinkets like pieces of jewelry and stuff like that. And there's like a young man with long dark hair who's sitting cross-legged in front of the shop and what looks like a shop. And when you come up, he sort of runs towards you. And hello. I'm Akeem, and this is my shop. Well, it's not really so much of a shop. It's also the the supplies for the village, but things that we've scavenged. But if I could interest you in anything, and he starts like rattling through all of these random things that he has, and it looks like a lot of them are in pretty bad shape and broken and old, and he sort of just like follows you around, like trying to interest you in his various goods.
Oh, well, I was told you used to be the ship's doctor.
Oh, no. That's not me. That's my father, Sahul. And he points to the house right next door.
Oh, well, we are looking for some parts. So I'm going to see if Maris sees anything that might be useful.
Yeah, you don't see anything that looks like it would be at all useful for fixing a ship. There's like some kind of really old, outdated little like energy pistol kind of thing but it looks like it's not functional anymore. And there's like some kind of scope that's also looks like it's pretty beaten up. Some kind of like night vision goggle type things and a
yeah, I sort of look at that and go, oh, not that useful against sandcats, huh?
And well, I mean, if you have spare batteries around, I'm sure. I'm sure it can be repaired. It's I can give you a great deal, and he tells you a price that's like really, really ridiculous. Like,
yeah, as if money really you can use money here.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, I want to talk to his dad.
Okay, he looks a little bit disappointed, but he says, "Oh, yeah, all right. Just be careful with the old man. He's a little bit sensitive ever since. Well, yeah, he's a little bit sensitive, and he leads you towards this little hut. It's kind of, again, this little sort of simple structure that's made out of the wood of, you presume, these kind of scrubby trees that you see kind of clustered around the lake.
But it's like a opening, and then they dig
and
down, right?
down,
So
yeah. So there's like kind of like a trap door that opens up, and it leads down into these sort of it's not like plain stone, it's just like packed dirt at first, and then it goes down a ways, and then it's kind of, again, it's not like hard stone or something like that. It's just kind of like they've dug several feet down into the ground, and there's like this
sort of like sandstone, right? They're digging through sandstone, because it's like highly packed, like sand, right? So it's become sort of sandstone-ish.
And they've kind of like supported this with some pieces of canvas and stuff like that, and some wood and stuff like that, kind of holding everything up. And it's like this small little enclosure down there.
I would ask that merchant guy, like, so how do you get the water out of that well out there? Use a pump or something?
Yes. Well, we take it up with the right, yeah, there's no bucket, right. It's being fixed, and then we purify the water. It's much lower salt content than the lake, you see, but it still needs a little bit of work before it's drinkable.
You don't happen to have some sort of, what do you do with people who die? Do you have a cemetery or something?
He kind of gives you this look. Oh, why do you need to bury someone?
Well, some of our people are really sick. Maybe some of them might die, and we'll have to give them a decent burial.
Well, I suppose you could bury them in the desert.
Oh, is that what you guys do?
Well, yes. Where else would we bury them?
No, it's just I wasn't sure. I mean, different people have different customs.
Yes, we bury our dead in the desert.
Oh, okay. Oh, let's speak to your father. See if he still has his medical knowledge and whether he can help us.
Okay. Yeah. So he points you to this, inside the structure, and you kind of descend down into this little area dug out of the earth beneath it. And this old man is sitting here. He's got some kind of like light crystal sort of like hanging from a chain in the middle of this really small little area. And he's sort of like sitting in the corner, and he's kind of talking to himself. As you come in, he looks up and says, hello there.
Hi. We just landed here recently, and we need some medical assistance. I was wondering whether you're willing to come out and help us.
Visitors. I don't. I don't know if I can help you. I'm not really of much use with my hands these days. And he holds out his shaking hands. I can't see very well either, but I suppose.
Well, if you're willing to help, that'd be great.
Where are your people, if I might ask?
I tell them where we came from.
Oh, well, I can go that way. Yes, I can go that way. That way I can go, but not that way. And he's sort of like he's
pointing to the monument.
He's sort of like hobbled up out of this underground structure, and he points out towards the monolith, and he's shaking.
Okay.
No, but there, and he points just there, right? And
yeah, there.
Yep. Oh, all right. Is it a long ways away? And you can see that he's very unsteady on his feet.
It's just an hour or two. We'll bring you back afterwards.
An hour? That's getting very hot outside. You can see that he's like sweating profusely in this temperature. And in fact, the temperature has gone up a couple of degrees again. It's definitely getting hotter.
Okay, so does it look like it's a bad idea to take him out there? I don't want to cause him undue stress.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an hour. I mean, it's less than a kilometer. You could get over there in a few minutes on your hovercraft.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I'll say
battery life.
It's a few minutes, blah blah blah.
Yeah. He seems hesitant, but he hops on the craft.
Okay. We'll take him with us just in case he can actually help.
Yeah. And yeah, as you're kind of going along on the, is there anything else that you want to take care of before you go back? I assume you want to get your monkey back.
Yeah, she's gonna get retrieve her monkey.
I definitely get the monkey. I say, oh, they're making me go back. I definitely play it up like I want to stay long.
So our hovercraft thing. Can we do a flyby of the well?
Flyby of the well. It's not big enough to go inside it with a hovercraft.
No, I mean above. And then is there a way of doing some sensors to look into the well and see what?
No, you can't. You can only float like a little ways up above the ground, and
okay, so it's not
okay. Really
so it's like a foot above the ground, not like
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I was just wondering. We'll check that out later.
It is a totally made up vehicle that is not in the book that I made up because I thought, oh yeah, you probably would have something like that.
Okay, so we would head back, and I wonder if we have like secure comm devices where we can sort of subvocal talk so that the old guy can't hear us, or
do you have something like that in your equipment?
Well, we all have comm links, so we'd have.
But subvocal, I don't know about that. You
probably have to
talk into your comms.
Yeah.
So, well, then I don't want to talk about some things the old guy might hear.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll bring him to our ship and then see if he can actually help. And then while that's going on, then we'll talk amongst ourselves and compare notes.
Yeah.
That would work.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, I'm not going to say anything. Like the bits I found out about that they were calling it an icon, which is really interesting to me. And
because that's a buzzword, right?
Yeah, and they actually did see the crew, that they stayed with them for several days and then went back. Like, that's all information, but I won't say any of that with the old guy around.
Yeah.
So you take him back to the ship, I guess, and I mean, he's not extraordinarily useful. He seems a little bit out of it, but he kind of he seems like he's not really so tech savvy. Like some of the equipment in the medical base seems to confuse him, but he is able to do basic stuff like kind of taking people's vitals and stuff like that. He starts treating the woman with the injured legs and that sort of thing.
Okay.
And after a while, it takes about an hour, and it rises once again outside. It is now 47 degrees Celsius outside. So it's pretty hot. It's 116 degrees Fahrenheit, 117 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if since the lake's not forbidden, I'm going to ask Maris whether we should just put the ships can survive re-entry, so I think our thermal protection on the ship is pretty good. But if that's not the case, then we could use the lake as a heat sink. We can move the ship over and drop it in the lake as a heat sink. So it's up to Maris, but
I mean, she's the lady stated to you that you should probably be fine in your suits, right? So it's nothing that would be too much for your environmental suits, but it would be extremely uncomfortable and dangerous for you to run around out there without a suit. But you don't have the sense that it's going to be a danger to your ship.
Does she have a clue as to how hot it is going to get?
You can ask Sahul.
Yeah, we asked the healer guy.
Yeah.
Like what does he know the temperature in Celsius that
what's the max? Yeah, at noon.
How hot is it really going to get today? Or just on average?
Yeah. And he it takes him a while to kind of give you any specific actual temperature, but after a while, you get the feeling from his description that it's probably about 60 degrees Celsius, 140 degrees Fahrenheit is kind of
that's horrible.
No, it can get hotter.
Well, once you hit about 49 is when you start to really run into human danger.
Yeah.
So
And you're
let's do our private talk, and then we can strategize. I guess we share our info, right? So we know there's something weird about the monument. Probably something there that's caused the ships to crash here.
Yep, that makes sense.
And it may be a case that whatever is doing it won't let us leave. I mean, it may cause us to crash again. So in addition to repairing our ship, we have to disable whatever this monument or thing is.
Her mentioning multiple crashes on the surface.
Yeah, that's unlikely. So there's something weird going on.
That worries the hell out of me.
Well, yeah, multiple crashes, the fact they call it an icon, the fact that the people came, got help from them, went back, and then she said they never showed up, which means it's hiding. So basically, if we go there, we might be in up for some kind of a fight, or if something's going to keep us there.
Yeah, but we need to repair our ship and make sure this thing doesn't take us back down again.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
I also bring up the weirdness about the well, and I was seeing if they were burying bodies there or something, but that didn't seem to be the case. They bury their bodies in the desert. There's something about the well, though. So maybe if we explore the well, there might be something there. But I think that would bring the wrath of the locals.
Yeah, well, it very well could be that, and I'm thinking that perhaps the well is so low because they haven't had visitors for a while.
And now you think they somehow sacrifice?
Well, the icons are basically gods. You know, as far as the system's concerned. So it could be. I mean, who knows? If maybe the icon's providing.
Yeah, the icon could be providing.
Whatever that means, whether they're sacrificing people or whatever, I don't know. I've seen a lot of weird things, even though I'm very young.
So do we know this about? So I don't know the world too well. Do icons do that, or are they more?
I don't know.
The icons are not like, you know, people pray to them and stuff happens. Sometimes pretty miraculous seeming stuff, but they are not like
embodiment. Physical embodiment.
Like the idea of them being a tangible thing that is in a place, like there might be a Templeton or something maybe, but like to
have them say the priestess is an icon is
what I'm saying. Well, I guess what I'm saying is they're calling it the icon, and I'm not talking about the icons that we worship. Maybe they think there's some kind of a god icon here. That's what I'm saying.
Something that provides for them.
Yeah. That's right. That's what I'm thinking as a possible solution for the well. Or maybe they just drink nasty water. I mean,
so is our sensors working? Can we make our sensors look to find this ship they say is between us and this monument?
Your sensors right now are at a very basic level. You could try to repair them for sure. Right now, they can just tell you things like the external temperature, the composition of the air right outside of the ship. They're just like basic sensors that can.
Yeah. So I'm not an engineer. I'm a gunner, so I can't do anything.
I have science, but I don't have technology. I don't know which one you would need for that. I don't know.
You need technology. You could probably find someone aboard the ship who's halfway sane who can try to help you fix the ship, or you could ask one of the people in the village to help.
Yeah, I think I would take a crew member that's half crazy than one of the village.
And a villager who's completely crazy.
Yeah. At least we know which one of our people actually knows technology. So we must have an engineer or somebody here we can tap.
You find the ship's engineer, Hakim, who's kind of just, milling aimlessly about, talking to himself. But he looks up as you arrive.
I go, Hakim, snap out of it. We have a job for you. This will keep your mind on.
Okay. Right. I'm there. What do you need to do?
We need to work on the sensors. There's a ship that's down out there, and we need to find out where it is.
Do you hear that?
Yeah, I hear it too. But why don't you
Yelling! The yelling! Won't you stop yelling?
Hold on, what? Who's yelling?
Yes, it keeps yelling. Yelling at me.
Oh, at least, well, that's worse than mine. Mine's a whisper. But
I wish it would be quiet for her.
yeah, if we can fix this, I think we make the voices go away.
Yeah. And he follows you. Starts poking around at the sensors. At one point, he's like, "Shut up!" And he just violently bangs his head into the console in front of him and shakes his head, and then goes back to work.
I kind of look over.
I'm gonna go while he's kind of they're getting this guy to work on this. I'm gonna go to Akeem's room or whatever, where he keeps his stuff, and I'm gonna get his his Walkman or whatever, his space Walkman. I'm sure everybody must have space Walkman. And I'm gonna suggest that maybe he plays loud music.
All right. He's like, "Oh, that's a good idea." And he turns on the device, and he's like sitting there, and he's like, "There it's inside my head. It's inside my head." And after a while, it's pretty clear that he hasn't made any kind of progress on fixing the thing. And he's just sort of like, he keeps trying to connect wires and pressing buttons on dials and shutting things off and turning them back on. But he, after a while, he shakes his head. He's like, "If it would just shut up, and maybe I would be able to figure something out. But I can't."
I'm gonna put a hand on Hakeem's shoulder and just tell him, say, "Hey, look, why don't you take a break until you can get yourself worked out?"
And he nods, and he like slaps himself in the head again. He's like, "Shut up!" And then he goes sort of walking off, muttering to himself under his breath.
I'm gonna take over and try and fix it myself.
All right. I believe technology is an advanced skill. Do you have any points in it?
I do.
All right, cool. Go for it.
And that uses your wits, right?
Yep, wits plus technology.
All right.
Oh wait, you want to pray to the icons?
I think you can do that after you roll, so you can decide.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
All right. And I got 2 successes.
Nice. All right.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah. So you're pretty easily able to figure out the problem. You have to fix a few things that your ship's mechanic broke trying to fix it. But after a while, you realize that there's some wires that shorted out, and you're able to replace things, rewire things, and wow, you got it working again. You hear like a little warning from the ship's computer informing you that the temperature is continuing to rise outside. It's now hit 49 degrees. But the sensors seem to be working.
We spot this other ship.
Yeah. So you spot a faint electrical signal out in the direction of the monolith, and it's on basically absolute emergency power. So there's not much of a signature, but it seems that the reactor is functional.
So that's near the monolith. So nothing near where these other people may have crashed.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which people, though? The group of people that came 2 weeks ago were near the monolith, right? Or am I getting that wrong?
The people that came. No, the people that crashed a few weeks ago crashed near the monolith. They got apart from a ship that was not near the monolith.
Yeah.
Headed back to their ship.
But our problem's a power thing. So the only thing with the power signature is where this other ship is.
The ship that crashed out there that they presumably tried to repair and leave. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go through our ship's inventory. Do we have any explosives?
I don't think you would have explosives on board. No, unless one of your characters has that in their equipment.
Well, I have a concussion grenade, but it's not quite like explosives.
Yeah, no, I don't think you'd have explosives on board. No.
I'm just thinking of this monolith that we can blow it up. That might get
You
us
might
out of
want to
here.
see what it is first before you.
Yeah, but if we need the explosives, we don't
Yeah,
have it with us on
I see.
our
Yeah.
skimmer, we're screwed, right? We have to head back.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, do we have anything on shipboard that could be?
Not really. I mean, you could try to make someone could try to make like a science
I don't.
roll or technology roll to try to.
No, I don't have anything like that.
Oh
So
yeah,
I
technology is
just
used for blowing things up. So I'd say technology would also be used for trying to, make some kind of makeshift explosive.
yeah. So I just shoot things. So
I can try.
Yeah, you can try.
I don't think we should be carrying bombs around.
Yeah, so the first thing I'd ask is well, before I start messing with this thing, why exactly are we making it again?
I was just telling you that this monument thing is making ships crash and making people not leave, and I don't know what we can. We may need something that may have to take this thing out, but I have no idea what would do it. I'm just wondering if we're prepared. Maybe we can do something, but.
I'll see if I can put something together that's armable so that it's inert while it's being carried around, I guess. I guess I'll roll to see what I can figure out.
Or maybe when we go there, there's a ship. Maybe one of these ships has a gun or something.
Maybe.
I mean, we could do that. We could always try and do this if needed.
Yeah, let's do it if
I
needed.
think the kid's got a point.
Yeah, let's do it if needed, because if we go there, there's a ship there, and if it has a gun, we could just aim its gun at the monument and fire with the gun. I mean, if that's
We try that first.
Okay, so I think we have to go there and get the power supply off this other ship.
Okay.
And it seems to be a similar size class to yours, so yeah. I mean,
and we'll also get to figure out what happened to them.
Yeah, basically they didn't go back to their ship, or they didn't make it back to their ship, I guess is the.
Or they made their ship and got slaughtered.
That's right. Yeah.
So are we sort of done with this healer guy? If so, we can bring him back home, and then we'll head over to the.
Yeah, he seems to have done what he can do.
We thank
Wait now though, because it's too hot.
Yeah, it's pretty hot out there.
You're reaching at 49 Celsius. You're reaching the limit of what a person would be.
We can wait. We can wait until it gets cooler. I mean,
yeah,
that'll be let's see,
About 7 hours, right?
Exactly.
Well, it seems like we can't do much either. So you could do more repair rolls while we're waiting.
Yeah, we could try to fix stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll try to fix the. Let's see. We worked on the sensors.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try and work on the comms.
All right.
So I can figure that out. And I got 1 success.
Okay.
On 4 dice.
Yeah. I mean, you're able to get the communication systems back up. So now you can send out a signal beacon from the ship itself, which may be a little bit more powerful than the one being sent out by the rescue pod.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and I'll do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Well done.
Yeah. And the reactor, you're fairly certain that it's not something that you can just fix. You need
some sort of fuel or something, right?
Yeah.
Parts.
Yeah.
New reactor.
Exactly. Right. So yeah. I guess you guys are gonna wait it out until it starts to get cool then.
Yeah, and I guess we can repair more stuff while we're waiting. I mean, if there's more stuff to repair, we'll fix it.
Yeah.
I do. I'm trying to think of what else we need.
Well, we'll scrounge another exosuit for the pilot, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't unless he has it in his
I'm thinking out of all the passengers, there must be another one.
Yeah, there's probably someone that's got one on board, yeah.
That will fit. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Whoa.
But you know, with the exosuit, we can go out there unless this hover thing won't take the temperature.
You know what I want to do? Like I'm sitting here, while they're trying to fix stuff, thinking, and because I have science, I'm gonna try to figure out. I mean, maybe if he's got the databases working again or whatever. I don't know if it's fix that first. Like, if it seems at all possible that water could be drinkable based on the various now with the sensors working.
Oh, you mean the lake?
Well.
The
Yeah, because
well.
it says that I can test science, see if we can figure out something that requires advanced scientific knowledge, like how to calculate a portal jump or where to find xeon gas pockets on a frozen megaplanet.
Oh yeah, so
I'm
that
wondering
means
if I can test my science to see if I can figure out how they're
Oh
getting.
yeah, absolutely.
Use the sensors and check out the well and the lake.
Yeah, the well and the lake, and see if they're getting how they might be getting water. All right, so I have 1 in science, and my wits is I have 5. Okay, no. 1 success. No. Only 1 success.
All right. So you analyze this water and the lake and the well, and you from what you can tell, it all seems to be pretty undrinkable. So not only are there various kinds of salts in there, but there is also there are also a few compounds that are pretty unpleasant. So there's this water soluble copper sulfate that is very poison, that can cause copper poisoning, and is pretty toxic.
Okay, so some heavy metals and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But no weird organics.
No, not necessarily. I mean, there's some bacteria that that seem to be able to survive in extreme conditions, that might be producing some kind of toxins. You can't really be sure whether these things are really dangerous to people, but you're sure that there are some nasty inorganic compounds in there that would make it really difficult.
So what are these people eating and drinking?
Yeah. Well, I think what I would like to do, I say as I explain when we find out. Well, I'm assuming the old man is probably resting and he's not with us right now. I think when we get back there to drop him off and we head towards the crash site, maybe we can ask them for a ration of water, and we can test their water as we travel.
Yeah, but don't drink it.
Yeah, we won't drink it. I'll test it. So that's
so they're growing food maybe underground,
or it's being provided for them from other source.
Yeah. I'm just thinking some weird dune creature they suckle off of.
As you guys are discussing this, you can all give me an observation roll.
I haven't made any rolls.
You can pray to an icon.
You're like Tony the other night.
I also did not make it.
I got 1 success on 3 dice.
All right. Yeah, so as you guys are all kind of, talking and planning amongst yourselves, you hear this low buzz sort of echo through all of the equipment, and you hear this kind of your head kind of throbs for a second, and then it goes away.
Is the equipment broken now, or is it?
No, the equipment doesn't seem to be broken. But a few of the readouts kind of flash and flicker for a split second, before going back to normal.
So I walk over to our little mini scientist here and say, okay, so it seems like something keeps coming through that messes with my head, but also messes with the readout on the screens. So something is interfering with both the technology and with the organics. You have any idea what could do something like that?
Well, it's fascinating.
And kind of scary.
No, I didn't notice it. What did it do exactly?
Well, I mean, like did you feel like anything in your head just kind of like
No, I
you
didn't.
feel like your head swimming or anything?
No, though my vision is still not fully come back from the
Well, I was just kind of standing there, and then all of a sudden, my head felt like it was swimming for a minute, and at the same time that it was doing that, like a bunch of the screens started flickering, and then just about the time the feeling in my head went away, all the readouts went back to normal again.
So as you're saying that, I'm just like staring at you, and I have a kind of a strange look on my face, and I start to seem almost like a little bit nervous, and I'm like, really, really? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know what it could be. It could be anything.
I'm thinking it may have been the same thing that made the ship crash, is why I'm concerned.
That does sound like it. Maybe we can ask the AI.
Maybe you should ask the AI. She doesn't like me too much.
Yeah. You know, actually, there are planets where you can actually get your face changed. And then I said that really flat, and I just.
We're gonna have to work on that later. We can't do that now. So.
Are you talking about me rather than directing your inquiry towards me? Because that would qualify as rude.
We were, but only in a good way.
Well,
we were discussing how not to offend you.
You know that I heard everything that you said. I do agree that the suggestion of obtaining a new face might be a good one.
I agree too, but I can't do that now. So I suggested that she's cuter than me. Maybe she should talk to you.
I would certainly prefer to talk to her.
I don't know if it's appropriate somebody your age to be calling me cute.
Well, I mean, all little girls are cute. Don't do that now. Just go talk to her.
Oh, you're so lucky HR is sick.
God, I can't wait for losing around here.
Well, no, see, I'm giving you a hard time to get on the better side of the AI.
Okay, let's keep it up.
So,
Make me feel weird.
So I'm gonna ask the ship's computer. I'm gonna say, did you notice any kind of a change, a frequency change, or power change?
Yes, I noticed an unknown power fluctuation. This time, the sensors were online, and I was able to locate its source. It seems to be coming from some to the northeast.
Like this monolith area that this are the is it near where the power source is that we need to get?
Indeed, not far away at all. Well, it depends on your mode of transportation. You could probably reach it within a few hours by hoverbike, but it would be quite an arduous journey on foot.
What is does the AI have a name?
That's a good question. The AI's name is Scheherazade.
Oh.
So I would, without looking at her, just kind of say, Miss Scheherazade, I did the best I could to fix the sensors, considering I'm not really the mechanic. Are you able to run any kind of scan on the monolith and give us any additional information?
I could, if you were to phrase your inquiry in a polite fashion, perhaps with please.
Pretty please.
That will suffice. Yes, I can perform some diagnostics. I cannot promise that I will be able to tell you much about this monolith because I am, if I've not encountered anything of its like, I may not have any data for comparison. However, I will probably have your results within approximately 3 minutes.
That's outstanding. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. After a few minutes, you hear a ding ding. The analysis is complete. The monolith appears to be made out of some sort of igneous rock, and as far as I can tell, is approximately 20 meters high. It appears that it's sitting over a cave system that runs beneath the ground. There seems to be quite a large quantity of some sort of crystalline mineral. However, it seems to be having a blocking effect on my sensors. I am not able to determine much about its composition.
Does it appear to be emanating any kind of electromagnetic energy or pulse or radiation or anything like that that you can see?
As I said, I noticed a strange energy anomaly, but it only lasted for a brief instant. It is now finished, and I can no longer evaluate it. Obviously.
I didn't realize that you meant that came from the monolith. I apologize.
Your apologies accepted. Perhaps the smart one would like to look through my readouts.
Oh, Shazarazad.
I just go and look at the readouts.
Shazarazad, I was wondering if there's a period to the time between the spike and when our ship went down. Could you, when another spike happens, can you see if it's a periodic occurrence?
Yes, I can provide you with this information, provided that you request it in a polite manner.
Please.
Very well. Ines can make a science roll if she wants to see if she can get any additional information from the readouts.
All right, I do. That's 1 science. I got 1 plus wit, so 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, nothing really extra there that I can figure out.
All right. Yeah, you're not really sure what's going on there.
I'm, I look at it. I say, "This is very good information, Sarazad. Thank you so much. By the way, the children of the village really enjoyed the chocolate that you made."
Oh, that delights me. At least someone appreciates the things that I do.
Shall we rest until the?
Yeah, and then we'll bring the old guy back, and then we'll head over to the monolith, I guess. It looks like there's a cave system underneath. Do we have like a portable sensor to look for openings or anything like that? Or can the ship find it?
The ship can probably tell you that there seems to be an opening near the monolith, but that's the only opening it can find, and it can't really give you any information about the layout of the cave system because it seems to be blocked by this crystal.
Yeah, but at least there's an opening, so we don't have to make an opening.
Yeah. You don't need explosives.
Not yet. Well, yeah, I think the plan would be then to get some rest and bring the old guy back and head toward get a sample of the village's water,
and then go. Yeah, I would go get the ship's core first.
Yeah,
and then maybe explore. I don't know if we want to explore or just head back with the ship's core first and then explore later, or.
Yeah, I mean, I think logically it might make more sense to get the ship's core, bring it back, fix our ship,
and then go in there.
That way, if we have to run, our ship will be working.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I mean, it's less adventure movie to do it that way, but it makes sense.
Unless there's a time clock.
We have 21 hours worth of power.
The other option is when you get water from them, maybe you can see if they have some food from the kids and see what they eat.
Well, no, exactly. That's what I'm thinking too. That also gives us the opportunity when Maris is fixing the reactor core, I could be analyzing the water.
Yeah, and then I'm thinking about the food to see what they really eat.
Okay, yeah.
I think if they're eating fungus or they're eating some weird excrement from some weird creature or whatever, right? Or they're having
she offered milk and water, so I don't think that would be a problem. We can just ask for it.
They have milk and honey. Who knows?
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's the plan, right?
All right. Yeah. So the temperature goes up for a while, and then it starts to drop again after it passes the peak. And after a while, it hits about 35 degrees, which is pretty comfortable compared to the temperatures that you were getting during the day as the sun sort of starts to sink down below the horizon. But you know, of course, that it's gonna get cold, and in about 7 hours, then which is about the time that you would, if you went there and then came back, that's about how long it would take. In about 7 hours, it's going to be really, really cold.
Okay, yeah. So I think that's what we want to do. So, assuming
Yeah, and then we'll start early in the morning or something to head to the monument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, yeah. So, so you've got to, in order to get to this place, there's like quite a few of these really kind of big, rough hills, and it would be pretty hard to just kind of go directly over the hills, but there's kind of like a ravine that you could navigate through. And you also she mentioned whom I mentioned something about there being a cave,
Yeah, a
like a
cave we can
small
hang
cave
out.
there.
Yeah.
So if for some reason you get stuck or whatever, or you get it delayed, then you could hide out in the cave. So
Yeah,
if you want to go through the ravine, or if you want to try to find some other route.
Yeah, I was thinking we want to GPS where the ravine is and put it into our whatever our tech we have.
GPS. Well,
yeah, some weird
there's not really any
system,
satellites here.
but there might be some weird mapping system where we can pinpoint where that is in case we get separated and somebody has to hide somewhere.
Typically, in settings like this, the ships can provide you like a topographical readout of your area.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really honestly look so much as I should into like what the ship sensors are capable of, but I'm giving a good bit of leeway here.
Yeah, you just kind of wing it from whatever you think
exactly
for what you're doing.
Yeah, it's not really about trying to map the area accurately and this kind of stuff. So we just assume that you're relatively able to navigate.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I have a personal communicator, so. If we're away from the ship, the ship could probably direct us as to how to walk back to it. I think that's what you're asking for, right? Into like if we get lost, basically.
Yeah.
Just thinking we get separated, maybe the ravine is a safe place to go, but you have to know where it is. You're in the middle of the desert, right?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I mean, I think we can get general information like that.
And there's a pretty clear landmark that you can use to help you find the ravine because this mostly dried out river runs through it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I have like a duffel bag that I keep my gear in. I'm gonna take that with me.
All right.
So
my gun.
So are we assuming we went back to the village already and dropped the guy?
Well, we're gonna do that. I'm saying before we leave the ship, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the plan is go to the village, drop off the guy, ask her if it doesn't require any extra convincing. If we may take a ration of water and a little food because we're gonna head out to the thing, and if she gives it up, that's great.
Yeah.
If she doesn't, then whatever, we'll try to figure out how to get it from her.
Okay. Would you like to do anything else in the village other than talk to her? Is there anywhere else you'd like to, explore or look at her?
Can we tell how many people are in this village? Like 50 people, 100 people, 1,000 people?
Yeah, there seem to be about like 60, 70 people living in the village. Yeah.
Oh, and I guess I would grab a piece of chocolate and make sure I find the kids again.
Yeah.
Harris would also suggest that you take maybe some kind of trinket from on board the ship, like something from the cargo hold, like maybe whatever their version of like a little iPad or something.
Yeah, some sort of toy or something.
And offer to trade it for the food.
Yeah. Okay. So you're going to talk to the kids first and then talk to...
Well, we're separating again, right?
Okay.
But basically, I would actually ask about the sand cats in this ravine and cave. We're gonna head over there and just get more info from her about that.
Yeah. So as you come up to Huma, you see actually that she's got someone standing beside her. This is kind of tall, thin woman with a kind of hooked nose, and she's got her hair kind of in these three ponytails flowing down her back. And as you approach, she kind of waves at you. And Huma points to her. This is Naya. Perhaps if you're heading out towards the ravine, she might be able to accompany you. She knows her way around quite well. And she Naya kind of nods. She doesn't seem to say very much. She seems kind of like the stoic sort. But you can see that she's got like a rather sharp sort of machete-like thing hanging at her belt, and some sort of kind of primitive-looking pistol at her side.
I wouldn't turn her help away, so
yeah, I'm gonna like jump off the hovercraft and like go. I'm gonna go play with the kids and go.
Okay. Let me ask Maris if we can take for that long distance. I'm not sure if our hovercraft has the power for that. Let me ask Maris whether we can take another passenger out there.
Oh, of course, of course. Meanwhile, the kids are of course overjoyed to see Enos again with the chocolate, and they run up to her. You brought more candy. You brought more candy. Thank you, thank you.
Yep. So I give it to them and I hang out with them. The only other information I might want to get from them is if I can figure out where they live. Maybe be like, so what do you guys eat? Like, what does your mom make for dinner? I mean, that kind of thing.
Oh, we get our food from the icon.
Oh wow, that's cool. Does it just come and hand it to you?
Well, no. Someone goes and collects it and brings it back.
Oh wow, that sounds exciting. In the desert?
Oh, from the monolith where the icon is. Huma has one of those little things. Well, it's not quite as fancy as yours, but it's like a little bike that can float, and she takes that up there. Sometimes Naya goes, and sometimes Huma goes. They come back with food for us from the icon.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool, but not as cool as a spaceship or chocolate.
And I then eat the chocolate with them while they're figuring out the rest of it.
So I would talk to Maris privately and bring up like, oh, they want to have this person go with us. I feel like we should bring the person, but then I'm worried that if we're going to do something I don't like, there's going to be some hostility.
If they think that this monolith is their icon and we have to do something to it, that's going to be bad. I also feel like this person's being sent along more to
watch us
than us.
But I have an out. I told her I have to check with you to see if our hovercraft has enough power to take all four of us out there. And if you say no, then I'll just make apologies and say, I'm sorry, but we can't take all four of us. And we won't be able to make it all the way out there and back because of power constraints on our hovercraft.
Are you good with pistols and rifles and stuff?
Yeah.
Because I'm okay. But the little girl probably, I don't know. She's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's a girl.
Well,
it's a little girl. I don't think she's a combat person.
Well, I don't know. I know, but she's full of surprises so far. I don't know. But it'd be nice to have another hand. But at the same time, I can't help. I just don't feel so good about it.
Yeah. So you see I'm wearing like light armor. I have a Legionnaire carbine, a Vulcan pistol, and a Dura knife.
Okay, so I would know.
Yeah, and I'm carrying a targeting scope, my exoshell, concussion grenades. I'm decked out to kill things.
Okay. I'd say we probably don't. Well, then, judging by what I would know of her and see her, I'd say I don't necessarily think we need them. Just tell them that there's not enough battery to carry the weight.
Yeah, I'll just make that excuse. Okay.
Sounds good.
As she when you tell her that, she smiles and nods. Oh well, it's perfectly fine. We do have a hover bike. If that's the issue, we can Naya can take the hover bike.
Oops.
Okay.
Now what?
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Naya kind of just nods again. She seems to be a pretty taciturn. She doesn't really.
I'm looking at the hover bike and trying to figure out where I can shoot it to disable it, but not at this time. I may have to shoot it once we get to the monolith and strand her there.
Right. I mean, shooting the person that's driving it works too, but
no, I could just shoot the bike.
Yeah. Okay. So you've noticed that the air is getting quite a bit chillier. Your suit readouts tell you that the temperature has now hit 20 degrees. It's it's dropped 15 degrees in the last roughly hour or so.
Yeah.
It's dropping fast. From what you have been told, the temperature by the time you get there, the temperature will probably be around 0 degrees, give or take. And by the time you make it back, assuming no delays, then you'll hit the coldest part of the night, and it'll be negative 40.
Yeah, so you're saying there
Oh,
back,
shit.
meaning
It's
there to the
really
monolith?
cold. By the time you get to the monolith, it'll probably hit about 0 degrees, assuming no major delays. And by the time you make it back, if you don't wait it out in the cave or something like that, like back to the village, back to your ship, then it'll probably be around negative 40.
Oh, so
Yeah.
what if we delay our trip and go at a different time? Or is this place so far away, it always takes so long to get there, it doesn't matter how?
It takes about 3 hours to get there and about 3 hours to get back. And by that time, you're halfway through the night, so you're at the coldest point, basically.
And it will take us hours to take this power pack off this ship too, right?
Yeah, it'll take some time, but you can probably assume that you'll have enough shelter in the ship. You also have your suits.
We may be stuck in the ship, taking this power core out.
Yeah, you do also. You guys all have some protection against the elements at this point,
we do.
right?
But this lady,
Yeah,
Anega doesn't.
yeah,
Exactly. 0, but not at minus 40.
Yeah. So I would tell him, well, we're thinking of going to get this power pack off the ship, but I'm afraid if we go now, Anea will freeze to death before we head back. I don't think it's a good idea if she went with us.
She sort of grunts and points at a large packet on the a large pack on the back of the hover bike.
Oh, she has giant furs.
Yeah, and it seems to be really heavy kind of winter gear.
So she has a Yeti costume.
More or less, yeah. And she also, yeah, exactly. So she kind of points this out. She's wearing kind of weather that's appropriate, clothing that's appropriate for the weather now. But she points out this heavy winter gear that she's got. She says, "I'm used to the temperature on this planet. I've been here for quite some time."
Then I think that'll be fine. Then we just don't want to make sure you'd be in difficulty.
Well, it is very considerate of you.
Yeah, I would actually. So we would go, but I would talk to Maris privately and say, well, we should still do what we planned to do, which was bring the power pack back and then repair the ship.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do that then. We'll take her with us, and we're going to do with plan A, which is go out there, get the power unit, bring it back to our ship, and repair the ship first before additional exploration. And then while doing that, then Ines can do analysis on the food and water and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, right. So she happily provides you some rations and water if you ask for it. Inside of a rations inside of a little pack, and water inside of a little flask. And all right, Daniel, do you want to have her do some analysis on that before you guys head out then?
Yeah, if she can do that, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Can I do it on the hover thing? Or how much time will we get?
Do you have some? Yeah, you are there is kind of a lack of time right now.
I was thinking I'd do it on the way back.
All right.
But our ship is only a few minutes away, right? On the hover thing. So
it's only a couple minutes. You could run back to the ship and do it.
We'll say we have to go to the ship and get some tools. So
don't we have the woman with us now?
Yeah, but that's fine.
She won't follow you back to your ship if you tell her to wait for 5 minutes. But
we'll just do that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, give me a science roll then.
Cool. Okay, so
hello, organic compounds.
Okay, so 5. 1 success.
Okay.
Hold. 1 success.
So this seems to be basically, from what you can tell, synthetically produced food of some sort. You don't really know much about, like, what kind of technology might have been used to produce it or anything like that, but it seems to be, from what you can tell, kind of like some sort of synthetically produced rations, just made from, again, you're not really sure exactly what kind of proteins and fats or whatever, like what the exact source of them is, but yeah.
Is the water pure water?
And the water is pure water. Yeah, that doesn't have any traces of poisonous organic or inorganic compounds.
Well, that's certainly interesting, since they said they don't do any trading, really.
Well, I think maybe whatever the icon is doing is it's purifying and stacking molecules, so that takes a lot of energy. So maybe it has to pull ships down and use their engine cores to do this work.
That's an interesting.
Could be, but if they're trying to take engine cores, I'm nervous about leaving our ship alone. But I guess we got.
Well, ours is dead, so we have to take it from the other ship. So
yeah, Harazad to do full security measures when we leave.
Yeah.
The other thing that kind of concerns me a little bit is that if we have to disable this thing in order to get off the planet, then we could be disabling their food and water supply.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a concern, or that's something.
I don't know how jumps work. So worst case is
not very well, and not from where you are.
So I'm just saying, is it like a time? Is there a time dilation? All that. So in this world, let's say
you don't really understand how it works.
No, I'm saying we know when people jump and they come back.
Yeah.
Are they gone for days and then they come back and say, "Oh, we went blah light years and stuff"? Or
what I gathered from reading the source material that I did read, it's basically it's like trans-dimensional type stuff. So when you're jumping, the distance is shorter because you're actually traveling a shorter distance, but time continues as normal. So
yeah, and it's sorry.
I think that's what I read, unless I'm mixing it up.
I'm just saying, if that's the case, we could still bring a rescue ship or provisions after we do this, because then
we could take them with us. We could probably fit a ton of people on our ship if we need.
Yeah. Well, no, we can't, because you need enough pods for them, or else they'll go crazy.
Well, you don't normally go crazy when you jump.
No, I thought it was.
No, you have to be in.
We had a mistake.
You have to be in stasis.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you guys are all messed up right now.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
So we don't have enough statuses for them.
Yeah. And it's kind of a problem. They can't jump, but I'm not sure that you can just jump from anywhere anyway. You can't. You have to go through portals.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can just
so we accidentally wound up here.
Your ship has no jump capabilities whatsoever.
Wait, then how do we get out of here?
We're gonna have to fly for a month, probably.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So on the star maps, now they told us where we were. Is there a place we can go to? Is there civilization anywhere close?
Yeah, about a year's journey away.
But this is about it, right? So you're right. We could take them all with us because we can't jump. But can we have? Do I have enough provisions?
Well, unless that's kind of going to be part of the problem. I mean, you've got it. You've got enough provisions that if you were able to be in cryosleep for a good part of the journey, that
but they're not.
They'd eat up everything within a couple of weeks.
Yeah. I
Well,
don't know.
We'll cross that bridge when it happens.
Let's see what's there. Let's see what's there. But I just want to know exactly what type of jeopardy we put these people into.
Bottom line is, it's a long trip ahead of us when we're done.
Yeah.
We can take a quick break, guys, before we.
Yeah. Let's take a break.
We're gonna play a ton longer anyway, because I gotta work tomorrow, and we're gonna have a second session anyway. But we can take it.
That's fine.
Okay.
5 minutes or so.
Okay. Break.
Okay.
So I put on my headphones, and
Mhm.
you don't get the feedback now, right?
No, I don't think so. No, no.
Yeah, so it's basically my microphone's picking up the speaker from my laptop.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But if I put on the headphones, then it doesn't go through the speaker and it goes to my headphones.
Got
But
it.
the reason I got the microphone was so I didn't have to put on my headphones.
Yeah, I had that problem too, but this microphone doesn't seem to do it. I hate the blue microphone.
Yeah, I have a Blue Yeti.
Oh, and that does it? That's interesting.
Oh, I think it depends on where I put it. I put it further away because I think I was afraid it'll pick up my keyboard ticks because it's really sensitive. Do you just put the microphone right next to your laptop?
Yeah, mine's pretty much right next to my monitor, which is where the speakers are, but the speakers come out of the bottom of my monitor.
But
So
are you using just the speakers off your laptop or using
no, I'm using them. I have like a monitor that my laptop's plugged into.
Okay.
No, I'm saying for your headphones. Are you wearing headphones or no?
No.
Huh. So maybe I need to move the microphone closer then.
Yeah. I mean, when I was just using the laptop by itself, I had the same problem that you have, and I had to wear headphones. But with this setup, I don't have to. I have basically the laptop plugged into a monitor, and the monitor has speakers on it, and then I've got the mic right in front of it, basically.
Oh, you have it in front of it.
Yeah, the speaker has to be behind the mic. That's
that's the problem.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can. I need a mic boom then, so I can put the.
It'll be like a radio announcer.
Yeah, because there's no room. I can't put it in front of the laptop speakers, so because then the microphone will be where I need to type.
Ah, yeah, that's the problem.
So I have the microphone like arm's length away from me to the side, and most of the time it seems okay.
Yeah.
So, is everybody back now?
Yep.
All right, cool.
That was the science.
Also, I have kind of sort of bad-ish news for you guys, which is that I'm actually supposed to have had a few more darkness points as a result of you guys having gone through a jump and being out of stasis. I would normally have 3, but I'm just gonna say I have less than that because I kind of put you guys in this situation. So I have 1 darkness point instead of 0, but yeah. All right. So you guys were about to head out towards the monolith. So you head along for some time without much event. When you reach the mouth of this big ravine. And as you are sort of heading towards the mouth of the ravine, you see that there are some dark shapes, sort of that you almost missed. And Ines isn't entirely sure whether she's really seen this or whether this is like, just a trick of this, these strange visual artifacts.
Sand cats.
But you guys, the rest of you all definitely see this. And Naya, behind you on the hover bike, she calls out, "Do you see that over there? Sand cats. They're trying to lay an ambush for us, but I assume that they don't know that we have spotted them. We should be careful. We may be on a hovercraft, but they can move incredibly quickly."
So from a distance, can I just snipe at one of them?
It is pretty dark, and they're pretty far away.
I have my cybernetic targeting scope. I have all this Legionnaire crap. I want to just show her how deadly I am. That's all.
Okay. I actually wonder if there's any kind of. All right. So then, in that case, we'll go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh, from way here? I'm just gonna shoot at it.
Yeah. Sure. If you're gonna shoot at it, then
so initiative is
might
just
be faster. I mean, you're within range of it to shoot at it with a weapon. So yeah, roll your d6.
Should we all roll or just to see?
You should all roll. They are really fast, and you're moving towards them pretty fast. So
I rolled a 2.
All right, and they got a 2 as well.
So
wait, you have this combat veteran thing, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it's actually roll 2 dice and take the best, right? So.
Well,
2-2, so it's the same.
And also, Morgan, if you have, if your weapon has initiative bonus, then you get those dice as well.
Yeah, exactly. If you're attacking with this weapon,
it's a Legionnaire carbine, but it doesn't say anything.
Okay, then you probably don't. Well, some of the pistols have it, I think.
Uh,
A Vulcan pistol. So, but this lacks stats on the character sheet, so I don't know if.
Yeah.
So that.
Oh, let me roll mine. Sorry, I do not have it, but I'm not actually going to use a weapon, so I'll just do a regular initiative. I got a 2 as well.
All right. Let's see. Well, in that case, then we actually roll the dice again, and whoever gets, let's say, the highest number ties.
So 5
and 4. So then you're first. You're before them.
Oh, so do I roll again?
No, that's just for a tie. What did you get when you rolled your?
I had a 2 also.
Oh, a 2 again. Okay, yes. So then you also roll another die.
Okay, so I got a 4.
Okay. Then you would tie with Enos. You can tell me which of you wants to go first, or you can roll for it.
I'm just gonna shoot one of these things.
Or no, she got a 5. You tie with the cats. We have to roll again.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. 4.
Okay, you beat them.
Yeah.
And Rush, what did you roll?
I had rolled a 2.
Okay.
I have to get more. I have to get more die 6s. Just a moment.
Roll again.
Okay. That time I got a 6.
Okay, yeah. Then you're going first.
Okay. But I don't really have.
The very first is going to be what's her name?
So I wound up. I have to get a lot of die 6s because of all my dice.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess I will take this opportunity to kind of briefly go over combat a little bit. So, the basic idea is that now we've just rolled initiative, and you can basically you have 3 action points that you can spend. So slow action takes all of your action points. So that's like firing full automatic, giving first aid, activating mystical power, firing an aimed shot. Like normal attacks, reloading your weapons, ramming stuff with a vehicle, that takes like your normal actions, that takes 2 action points. Then there are some fast action points, like moving a short distance, drawing a weapon, picking an item up, etc. Those take 1 action point, and then free actions like using your armor to defend against an attack, or defending in an opposed role, or shouting something out to a comrade. Those take no action points. So you can take any combination of these. You can also take reactions on your enemy's turn, so you can choose to defend yourself in close combat. You can make an attack of opportunity, or you can fire if you're on Overwatch with a ranged weapon. And those you can take them on someone else's turn, but they still use an action point.
Yeah. You have points left basically if you go first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you'll have fewer points when your turn comes around.
Right.
Right, and so I mean, basically, you make the kind of whatever roll you want to make, whether ranged or melee. And if someone makes a ranged attack, if you succeed, then you do your damage of your weapon. And if you get a critical success, then you might be able to do a critical injury. If you're in melee combat, they can choose to defend. So then, basically, what you do is you also roll melee combat, and you can use each success that you get to do something like cancel out one of their dice or disarm them after they've made their attack, stuff like that. So the first person to go is actually Naya. She just kind of rides further forwards towards the cats, and then she sights at the cats over the top of her thing as she gets closer, and she just kind of like waits, aiming her weapon because she's still a little bit too far away to be effective with it. And it's now Nurse's turn.
Okay, so
You're piloting the hovercraft, I assume.
Oh, that's right. It's Rush's turn. Yeah, so he's driving, right? So,
yeah.
Okay. So.
Well, driving is a fast action.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
I guess I would say.
So you can drive it 3 times its movement rate if you use your entire turn driving it, basically.
So I'm gonna spend one I guess fast action to kind of turn to Ruya, and so we're all riding in it, and she's trying to take her shot from inside the hovercraft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I kind of turn and say, "Where do you want me to put you?"
Yeah, just hold it steady.
Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't take an action. You can tell her. You can just tell her that.
All right. Well, then I'm just gonna kind of slow it down a little bit and just try and smooth the ride out as much as I can to try and help with the aiming.
All right.
All right. But while he does that, I'm having an issue.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to reboot my PC real fast, but I have a SSD drive. It'll only take me a second.
All right. Cool. Go for it.
What does the targeting scope give me?
Oh, let's see. You don't have that on your. All right.
No.
Yeah. Sorry. I didn't think about the fact that a lot of this stuff is not really. I'll go to the equipment targeting scope. Yeah. Sorry about that. I should have double checked that stuff for you guys beforehand.
It probably gives you a bonus die, though.
Yeah, most likely.
I assume it does, but
yeah. The question is how many you're.
I assume I lose 2 dice for wearing my exo shell, but
yeah, because that's a penalty to dexterity.
Yeah, that's fine.
God.
What's a penalty to dexterity? Not to missiles, not to range combat.
Right, but to dexterity, right? Yeah, you know what? The problem is I'm thinking of dexterity as the attribute. You're correct. Yes,
you're right. So I still get all of it.
Yeah. It is also dark, and you're on a moving vehicle, so I argue that's probably gonna give you some penalties as well.
But I have
but let me see how your
I assume we have night scope stuff because I'm a legionnaire.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to find it. It's what's it called again?
Targeting scope.
Targeting scope.
I think it's built into the eye because it's cybernetic. So.
Oh, it's built into your eye?
I assume it says cybernetic, so.
Okay, yeah, then maybe that is. It probably just gives you like a +1. Okay. Let's just say that for now.
That's fine.
Now, if you don't have a night scope in your equipment, which lets you use your weapon in darkness without penalties, then you're probably using your weapon with some penalties. Because nothing does anything that it doesn't say that it does, right? So there's equipment for this. So if you don't have the equipment, so I'm not sure exactly what the penalty would be for the darkness, but I'd say that between the darkness and the hovercraft, you're probably at -2. Once you get a little bit closer, or if you get off the hovercraft, it'll probably. But yeah.
And then.
Oh, and you're out of short range to your long range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where is it? At short range and above, so your targeting scope gives you a +1 to range.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what we thought.
Okay, cool. All right, so
so I got that penalty, but so firing is just a regular action, but you get 3 things. So is aiming a short action, or is it? I
You can
fire?
do an aim shot as a slow action.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I would do. So then that gives me a bonus back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, exactly. +2.
Okay. Oh, +2. Oh,
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
So I would do this and just shoot at one of these cats. Oh, only one success out of all these dice? That's
All
crazy.
right. Well, you do your weapons damage, so it's not so bad. What is your damage?
I don't know. It's a Legionnaire carbine.
I'm so sorry that I didn't double check these character sheets. Legionnaire Combine. I'm going to go ahead and give you the information on this if I can find it, so that you can write it down. Legionnaire Carbine. Bonus +1. Initiative 0. Damage 3. Crit 2. So if you get 2 successes, then you get a crit. Range long. Automatic fire hard capacity. Built-in grenade launcher.
Oh,
Yeah.
holy crap. Well, that also means you get one more die when you're attacking if you didn't do that.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. So you can roll one more die.
Nope. No extra 6. So.
Okay. All right. Jesus Christ, where's armor?
Oh, the range is long on it. So
Yeah. It's the maximum range at which you can shoot, but if you're shooting in long range, you could get a penalty. I think it's -1.
okay. So I have my big dice pool now. So
Roll a number of dice equal to your armor rating. Okay.
oh, so then what do I do after I hit it?
No, so I'm figuring out what their armor, which is pretty substantial plus. Okay. Yeah, so your shot goes off and the rest of you see like this flash in the darkness. And you hear kind of like a mewling yelp from over next to these like at the mouth of the ravine. And the bullet or whatever you're firing from this carbine just sort of bounces off of what looks like, you see like these creatures kind of like starting to move out from the mouth of the ravine, and they look kind of like cats, but they are they have like this kind of light brown skin with black spots. They don't have fur on their bodies. They have these odd skin flaps, and their head and torso are covered in this kind of like shell, this hard shell. And the bullet draws a little bit of blood, which you kind of see shining in the faint moonlight. But you clearly it clearly was dampened by their armor.
Mm-hmm. How many shots can we get before we reach some sort of hand-to-hand range to these things?
You probably have like one more round before you're in melee range, but they are also pretty fast.
They're moving up?
They haven't started moving yet. It's not their turn. It's just narrative stuff. They're not really moving. It's now Enos's turn.
Do they notice? Are they smart enough to notice that we were the ones that shot at them?
Well, you're not sure whether they can see you or know exactly where you are or not, but like you assume they probably have decent hearing, and so the sound of a gunshot going off gives them a reasonable idea of where you are. They seem to have been laying an ambush for you, so they seem to have heard you coming and known that someone was approaching.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can assume they have a good idea of where you are, and you can assume they can probably see in the dark too. So better than you can.
Yeah, right, exactly. Definitely better than me. So I'm going to in my duffel bag that I have sitting next to me, I have that my weapon. I'm going to pull it out, which is I guess is a fast action, and then I'm going to go into Overwatch because I can't shoot at this distance. My range is short range. I have a carbine on that.
All right.
Weapon.
Cool. So you're in Overwatch. Roya. Wait.
Oh, do I get to go again, or
No. Maris. Oh no. You went out of your turn somehow. I called you first. Sorry.
You went out of order, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
it's fine. It doesn't really matter.
You see them. They kind of like seeing the gunshot go off and hearing the yelp of there seem to be only 2 of them from what you can tell. Hearing the yelp of one of his companion, the other one pauses for a second, looks up at you, and then they both kind of like dart down, slink low to the ground, and kind of disappear behind some of the rocks, so you can't see them at all anymore.
Oh, now they disappeared.
Yeah.
Great.
I think they probably have to actually roll their infiltration to do that successfully. So, I mean, it's also they're behind a physical obstacle and they're blocked. But yeah, and then they also just assume anyway because they have. Yeah, they both managed to hide themselves, and you can't see them anywhere anymore. They've, for all intents and purposes, disappeared.
Yeah. So knowing this ravine, is there a way of going around where they are?
You can try it. It's extremely hilly and irregular, and the hovercraft doesn't get you that far up off of the ground, so you're gonna have to navigate like these really steep hills and cliffs. You could make a Maris could make a piloting roll to try to, go around the mouth of the ravine.
Yeah, because I don't want to go into ambush, right?
Yeah. So Naya, meanwhile, is up now, and she kind of like holds back as she waits to see what you guys are gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, I can pilot that, try and make that.
Yeah, let's
fighter there.
get around where they are. I mean, there's no point. It looks like shooting at them, they didn't run off. They decide to ambush us even more. So
yeah. Oh, it's just occurred to me actually. Probably you guys have some sort of light on your vehicle. So I didn't think about that before. But it's still, I mean, it's still pretty dark outside. We're still moving. So anyway, all right, go ahead. Give me a piloting.
I actually have to get one more D6 out because I screwed up earlier when I rolled my piloting roll when at the ship. My piloting or my agility is actually 5.
Oh.
And my piloting is 3, so I have 8 dice.
Nice.
For this one. Whereas before I thought it was 6. Okay, I got 1, 2, and no, just 2.
All right.
Thought that was a 6.
Yeah. So you managed to make a pretty wide swath around these cats, and you kind of managed to maneuver around, and it's quite hilly and difficult. And it's going to go on like this for a while. So I mean, if you for now you're able to navigate, but if you come into any more sort of high stress situations, you're going to have to make a piloting roll again. But for the time being, you're fine. You're able to maneuver around them. You don't see or hear any sign of them, and you assume that you've lost them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the whole idea of shooting at them was to impress Anya.
Yeah.
That
you're
dangerous.
Naya. So she kind of she's got to make a piloting roll too, actually. And she's not nearly as good at piloting as you.
Hey, this might be a self-solving problem.
She succeeded though. So yeah, she seems to be struggling with it a bit, but she manages to keep up with you. But as she catches up to you, you kind of hear like cursing under her breath a little bit.
The
good
news is
almost falls off.
The good news is we're showing her we're badasses, so she shouldn't fuck with us.
She's definitely pretty impressed with you, I'm sure.
You're definitely making an impression.
All right. Yeah, we can go for a bit longer, I suppose, if everyone is good with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you continue for a while. You continue over this kind of hilly area. It gets quite a bit colder. It's now at around 10 degrees. So I mean, it's a bit chilly at this point. And as you kind of make it across these hills, then you find yourself in front of a actually pretty breathtaking landscape. There's just this big expanse of these salt flats, and there's this sort of bluish, whitish salt that's just spread out in all directions, and there's moonlight, sort of dim moonlight, streaming down and reflecting and glittering over this huge expanse of salt. And up ahead, quite a ways in the distance, you see this sort of large black spike sticking up from the ground. As you approach it, the temperature continues to drop. You can see also the sort of glimmering hull a spacecraft, roughly the size of your own, crashed probably about 200 meters away from the monolith. And it seems from this distance to be in relatively reasonable condition. It seems that, like you, the pilot was skilled enough to have landed it without any major structural damage. Yeah, at this point, the temperature has dropped to around 0 degrees, and it's quite cold.
I actually had a thought.
Yes.
A ship is really expensive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Salvage of a ship is like incredible bounty.
Yeah. If you can get both of them off of the planet,
off the
it would be
planet
quite
would be great.
You'd be pretty rich. Right. So Naya takes out her packs and she starts to put on layers of heavy clothing, and then she hops back on the hovercraft. And you see also, as you get closer, that there's sort of a pit in the ground behind the monolith.
Okay. So when we go to the ship, where does she go?
She follows along behind you.
Okay.
So this is what I want to do, just as we're driving, just as an overall thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like watching back behind us at Naya,
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of see if she seems like she's doing anything suspicious. And what I mean by suspicious is like reaching for some kind of a communicator or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just keeping my eyes on her.
Yeah. I mean, an observation roll.
Yeah, that's basically my plan because I can't drive. The guys don't let me. No. How many do I get? It's wits, right?
Yeah, it's wits.
So I get 5 more. No. I get nothing.
Okay.
If she's doing anything, I can't see it. Or she's not doing anything.
Yeah. It's pretty, it's dark even with a little bit of moonlight, and you can't really tell. I mean, at one point she, turns around and coughs, and maybe she's saying something into her transceiver, but you have no idea.
Yeah.
And so at this point you see the ship and the monolith and a large black pit behind it.
Yeah, we're actually going to go to the ship and retrieve the power module or whatever they have as tech for that here. I'm going to watch her and see if she's with us or whether she disappears.
Yeah. She, as you get out of the hovercraft, she says, I'll wait here.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Well, I'm not a tech person, so I'll wait out there with her, I guess. Well, right. Unless Maris thinks there might... I may have to clear the ship for him anyway. So let me go in the ship myself first, make sure it's safe, and then I'll let Maris take the power module out.
Okay, so you're all heading into the ship now.
Well, no, somebody has to watch what's her face.
Yeah,
I guess I can watch her. I mean, actually, what I want to do is we don't want to make it seem like we're watching her.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make like a kind of a loud statement. I'm gonna be like, "Boy, it looks really scary. What if there's more creatures in there?"
Yeah, I go, well, Innes, you should be out here with Anaya, and you'll be safe with her while I make sure the inside the ship is clear.
Okay, all right. And then I sit there.
And then I go in there and check out the inside the ship. I assume there's going to be lots of dead bodies. Hopefully not, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right. So you are going, I guess, through just like the main hatch of the ship or whatever. Yeah. And there's a panel on it. It's on emergency power. So the like, panel that would open it is not really functioning. But you could try to basically mechanically force it open, or you could try to use technological means to attempt to, I don't know, somehow get into the electrical, like try to reroute power to it or something like that, right?
That's not me, it's Maris. Yeah. I would just shoot it and then I'll just damage it, and that's it.
Yes, someone can roll force to try to push it open, or
Or,
I mean,
yeah, I don't know if Maris has a tech skill.
yeah, it's not locked, right? It's just a heavy power door that would normally be you'd have help opening it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. I don't have force on
I
here,
have
so-
force, so I could
Okay.
do force with the strength, right? So I could do that as long as we don't damage it. That's all.
Yeah. No,
Okay, so I'll do that. I have 1 success out of 6 dice. I'm rolling
Yeah.
terrible today.
One success gets it done, man.
yeah.
Yeah, but
So you open it up, but you can basically you just manage to push it open just a little gap, just enough for you to slip through. So you're able to open it up and go inside. The lights are all off inside. It is pitch black in there because again, like emergency power, not really much of anything is on.
the standing order is if I see a body, first I'll examine it, and then we'll throw a sheet or something over it.
Yeah. You can give me an observation.
May or may not be relevant, but I'll just mention it now. We can play it out after. While I'm out here, even though I'm technically supposed to be watching her, I'm going to kind of look in her direction, but I'm actually going to use my mystic power.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Because I want to look through and hear through Ymor.
Darkness point for me, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, and you get a darkness point for that.
Yeah.
I suck. No,
I'm pretty good with that. I got 7.
I failed my observation.
All right.
These dice don't like to roll 6s.
That happens, right? Okay, so I got two successes on my mystic power. So I'm trying to look through Ymor.
right.
And I can see through her eyes, hear through her ears, and feel anything she feels, but I can't read her mind.
All
So-
right. Feelings
yeah, so
is
whether or not it's relevant is
like physical feelings or also emotional kind of
no,
feelings.
not emotional, just physical.
Just
Like she's
physical.
touching something.
Oh.
Yeah. It's all fact.
Yeah.
I'm cold out here.
Yeah, you feel her shivering. She's not as well dressed as you. She's wearing pretty heavy clothing. She hasn't put on her
Sorry,
heaviest.
not Nia. Ymor. Not Ymor. Is that her name, Ymor? No, that's the name of the village. The village elder.
that's too far away.
Oh,
No, anywhere.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Once I've met them, I can do it anywhere in the universe.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
That is really neat.
Crazy.
That's crazy. That's like
Well, that's why I also
super
did darkness
duper
point.
force ability.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I feel your anger. I feel your fear. Yes, more fear, more anger. Yes, I feel it across galaxies.
Well, no, but it's not any physical. It's only physical. It's not emotional.
It's physical, yeah.
She's not
Still,
upset or
that's
but I'll be
really
able to see what she's doing, basically.
That is very neat. Yeah. So, you, as you enter her mind, you see, that she's inside of one of these kind of underground areas,
Mhm.
and she's crouched down in there with someone who you haven't met before. It's kind of like an older man. He's kind of wiry, nervous-looking man with a shock of white hair, and several of his front teeth are kind of chipped and broken. And she's talking to him, and she's saying, "I imagine if they have a signal beacon of some sort, then they would have turned it on. Yes. Do you think that you could disable it?" He's sort of well, it's getting quite cold, but it isn't far away. I imagine that they probably have guards posted, but perhaps I'll see what I can do. I'm not sure if they've experienced bad stasis like the others, and they might not be of much use for defending the ship. I'll try. We can't really afford any more casualties. And she nods. Do your best. And he pulls on a heavy coat, and you see him climbing up these like narrow stairs up to the outside. And you feel this gust of cold wind kind of blow over her as the door opens, and then he closes it again, and he's outside. She's got like this little light crystal and it's not providing much light, and she's just kind of sitting there in the darkness, and you can hear her sort of mumbling under her breath, Kazahur, please protect us, protect your servants, deliver us. And she sounds like she's praying under her breath, sort of. And this just goes on for quite some time.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you. I knew she was something really good. Damn it.
Well, at least they're not friendly.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So the rest of you, so you're inside. Nobody succeeded on an observation roll inside there. Okay. Yeah, you look around the ship. You don't see any bodies at all. You don't see bodies. You don't see a sign of struggle. And in fact, that's pretty odd because if they suffered any casualties at all, there must be some sign of it.
Yeah, like their blood or something, right?
Yeah, but you don't see anything like that. Any sign of struggle or anything like that. You notice that the ship seems to be mostly operating, and yeah, the core, it seems to be in decent condition, more or less. You imagine, if they would have tried to sabotage it, it's not. Your core kind of got damaged, and it could have been much worse than that because you don't really want to, tamper with a hydrogen reactor core because you can get blown all to hell. So you assume that they probably didn't tamper with it, but you don't really have any way of knowing that for sure unless you take a closer look at it. But it seems to be working. It's pretty big, though, I assume.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Well, I'm going to assume, for the sake of not having not told you this before, and now you're screwed, that you can probably fit it on your hovercraft, I guess.
Well, yeah, the other option is if this ship is fully repaired, we can take this ship.
I think we don't want to take another ship. Our ship's
has a much nicer AI.
Well, maybe this AI is nicer. Maybe we should take the AI core.
Yeah. It's not online right now because, again, the power's mostly off, but you could boot it up and try to talk to the ship's AI.
Yeah, let's talk to the ship's AI and see what happened here.
Sure.
Yeah, I want to see who... Is there any logos for the ship, like what company the ship belongs to or anything?
Yeah, I don't know if you recognize the specific company or something, but it seems to be kind of like a similar ship to yours, like just a trading ship.
Mm-hmm.
Like a light freighter.
Yeah, let's bring up its AI and talk to it and find out what happened.
I want to, while they're doing that, I want to use my communicator, speaking of the AI, and call back to our ship. Kind of subtly, and I'll be. Let's call back and say, Daharazad, we were attacked by some wild creatures out here. Be sure that the ship itself is secure, please.
Give me an infiltration roll if you're trying to avoid being noticed when you do this.
I'll say it as soft as possible. Sure, I think I have infiltration. I do have infiltration actually. It's a G, and it's.
You're a sneaky little girl.
I am, yes. Possibly not sneaky enough, though. Not sneaky enough. Nope.
Yeah, I know. These sixes are very elusive.
Yeah. You know what?
All right.
I think this is important because I know something's up. I'm going to pray to the icons because I just love to do that kind of stuff. So I'm going to pray to the faceless one, which is actually my icon.
Nice.
But I'm going to say faceless one. Don't like this.
Do you get a bonus for praying to your...
No, but you get a talent from the icon.
Yeah, exactly. You get an icon talent. Yeah.
Oh, so you don't get one.
Okay, I did them all again, and I got one success that time.
All right. Yeah, you managed to find a moment where she's not directly looking at you. She doesn't seem to pay you too much heed anyway, because you don't look particularly threatening. And you managed to kind of slip away from her and relay this message. And the ship's AI responds, "Of course, I will make sure that all security measures are in place."
Thank you.
You're welcome. You asked so. You said, "Thank you. That was very nice of you. You're a good little girl."
Yeah, I can't wait till we get rid of this AI.
Yeah.
We'll find out the one we have in this other ship is like Bender.
Jeez.
All right. All right. Sorry, that's basically what I do.
All right. Nice. Yeah, you guys, you're gonna boot up the ship's AI.
Yeah.
Okay. So you boot up the computer, and you hear this time a male AI voice come on. "Hello, and welcome to the ship's intelligence. I am your ship's intelligence, and I am ready for setup. Please select the startup options that you would like to have." He basically goes through this kind of startup routine. It's clear that someone has wiped all of the data.
He's
Totally
in full
white.
reboot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Please
Yeah,
select whether you would like to have a male voice or a female voice.
So I think I'll let it go. Is there like a button that says quick setup?
I'm sure there's something.
Okay, I'm gonna let it do a quick setup, and then we're gonna go look for the core.
Now, I will note that if you have technology, that you may be able to recover some form of lost information, possibly. I mean, someone could have clearly just, pretty easily wiped the information, but if they didn't physically remove all of the disks, which it seems that they did not, because the thing is still operating, they didn't just smash everything, there's a chance that there might still be some information contained in there somewhere that would be difficult to retrieve it, but you could try.
Yeah, that's up to Maris. I would just shoot the computer. So.
And I thought Maris was the one who had a problem with AI.
No. I my only skill is shooting
things. Yeah.
Yeah. So did we find out on the on our ship?
Mm-hmm.
Did I ever take the time to actually identify the part or what part we needed to fix the reactor?
Yeah, you need a new reactor core MacGuffin. Okay.
Okay. But in other words, something not ridiculously big or anything.
Yeah, let's assume that there's some kind of
lithium crystal equivalent.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll work.
It's transport. It's probably bulky, but it's transportable.
Yeah, it's probably some weird radiation shielded tube that glows blue. Right?
Exactly.
It probably makes everybody sterile within 200 meters, but they don't ever tell you that. But they fix you later, right?
Yeah. Then you find out that for some reason I don't have any more darkness points. You're like, where did they go? And then in the epilogue, it's like, guess what? You can't have those anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess if that's the case, I'm just gonna be like, well, this thing's in full reboot mode.
Yeah, somebody decided
just shut the whole thing down, and then we'll just
no. The reason I want to boot it all up is at least we put in our password, and then maybe we can control it later, just in case.
Mm.
And then if you pull the energy system out, then it'll just be on battery power, right? So
yeah. So you're saying in case we need to try and take off in this ship?
Yeah, better than trying to boot it.
Well, the only problem. Okay.
And this might still have thrusters that work, so maybe we can use this to do something to the cave network.
Yeah.
So how does thrusters work in this world? Are there normal?
Yeah. Let me see. I just read about that, and then there's some kind of gravity thing on the ship that does things that you can use to control the ship. What is it?
Probably like gravity plates.
Oh, so can you use those as a weapon of some
gravitation projector. A
Oh,
large generator and exhaust system ejecting gravitons that push against nearby gravity fields, thus propelling the spaceship forward. Yeah.
oh. Could that damage a cave system?
Oh, well, the gravity, all right, the exhaust stream can cause gravitational phenomena. The gravity closest to the projector exhaust is severely increased, followed by dangerously violent shifts in the gravity further away. The
Yes,
area
it
around
can.
a craft about to take off is generally cleared out in advance, and the pilot will slowly turn off the projector's effect. But if you were to turn it up really fast, you might mess some stuff up.
Oh, hey, I think I found our bomb.
Yeah. So that might be a good way to break some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You also have a cannon on the ship. You have weapons on the ship.
Oh,
I mean,
there's a
they're not
cannon.
like top of the line weapons, but you do have a weapon on the ship.
Yeah. But right now, as far as we can tell, except for Innes, we don't know that these guys are completely hostile right now. So
Right. Exactly.
but yeah, let's I'm gonna make sure the system's powered up and everything anyway.
Mhm. All right. Yeah, you're able to do that without much trouble. There's nothing like that's been overtly sabotaged that you can tell. So you're again, it's running on battery power, basically, more or less. But yeah, and I guess you're gonna remove the core thing, which we're gonna say is transportable.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And when we go out there, is Anaya still standing there, or is she collecting things?
Naya is still there. She's just standing out there. And Ines is out there too. Nobody's stabbed anyone yet.
You don't stab me. Jeez.
So we go, well, we got the power core, so we can leave.
Oh, fantastic.
Are we going to freeze to death by the time we get back, or are we going to be okay?
We have to go to that cave and face.
Well, my suit's good till -70.
So
yeah,
as you head out, you get this really uncomfortable feeling from this monolith over there. And again, you feel like this kind of odd, and this time everyone feels it, this kind of odd resonance, this weird kind of buzzing, and your head echoes with the same strange feeling that you had before. By the time you step outside, it's also significantly colder. The temperature's continuing to drop.
Do I see Naya react to this?
Give me an observation roll.
Hey, 2 successes finally.
All right. Yeah, she kind of like momentarily seems to kind of flinch and then zone out for a second, and she blinks her eyes. And then she points her gun at Enos, and she says, "Put it down. I can't let you leave with that."
That's not good. Pointing a gun at one of our people. I'm just gonna shoot her.
Okay.
Oh shit! You've always been such a peaceful guy.
All right. So as you go to shoot her, go ahead, everybody, roll initiative.
Okay.
Oh, you got a 1.
I got a 6. I got a 6 also.
And I guess I don't have a weapon on or anything, so it's 6.
I got a 5. And I do.
Oh my god! Now we're not moving. We're not moving in a vehicle. It's not dark. It's not long distance.
Enos got a 6 too.
Yeah, I got a 6, and actually my second, because I'm using the cards, so my second number was a 6 too. So if I tie anybody, I'd.
Oh, cool. Yeah. All right. You're first, then I think.
All right. Well, she's pointing at me, right? So
Yeah.
since I get to go first, I'm going to drop flat into the vehicle, hopefully out of the sight of sight. Not.
Nice. Yeah. That'll
And
do
I'll
for.
reach over and get my gun, but I probably can't do much more than that. I don't think.
Yeah.
Not without getting back up, anyways. So I guess technically, what I do is I'm technically in Overwatch because I drop flat as a fast action. I pull my gun out of my bag as a fast action, and I go into Overwatch. Like laying on my back. Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. So then Roya is up.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what a Legionnaire gunner does.
There's only one problem though. As you go to fire,
Shit.
well, your clip,
Sorry.
you realize that it's jammed.
It's jammed.
Yep.
Darkest point.
How much time does it take to unjam? Can I fire with my Vulcan?
Well, the attack is canceled, and
Okay.
a technology roll is required to fix the weapon.
I'm gonna not spend time with that. I'm gonna pull the Vulcan pistol out of the holster and shoot her with that instead.
Okay. Pulling it out is a quick action.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then do I have to wait till next round?
Wait a second though. Wait a sec. Yeah, because your attack still takes your action. Yeah.
Yeah. So I fired, I find it's jammed, I drop the rifle, I pull out a pistol, and that's it.
Okay.
Damn it! I had all these sixes.
All right.
I had about 5 sixes.
Maris is up.
So I'm just gonna pull my pistol and shoot her, I guess,
Okay.
because my suspicions are confirmed.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me it would be ranged combat, which is 2 dice mixed with my agility.
Yeah.
Right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Nice. Plus, if your weapon has any bonuses.
I don't know
What
that.
weapon have you got?
I have a Vulcan pistol.
Mm.
All right. Oh, yeah. You need me to look
Is
that up.
+1.
Okay.
Hold
You're
on.
also +1 initiative, so your initiative should be up one more than.
Yeah. Which means, yeah, you might have gone at the same time or before.
Yeah, here it
but
is.
I don't know.
Vulcan pistol says bonus +1, initiative +1.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
so I would have gotten a 7 also.
Yes.
So I get another dice.
That's right.
Okay, shit. That's 8 dice.
Yeah.
I got 1 damn success out of 8 dice.
Happens.
Hey, I hit her.
Yeah. What's your damage?
Damage on this is 2.
Okay.
Crit 2.
Nice. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
so you don't roll damage.
the
Okay.
shot hits her in the arm, and she kind of like staggers back a little bit. And then she points her pistol at she runs towards Ines actually, and then she takes a shot at her.
If she runs with them, I'm an Overwatch, so.
Oh right, yeah, okay. She doesn't
Sorry,
actually need to move to get to you, but yeah, you can still fire her.
Well, just to move closer because I'm flat, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Go ahead.
So yes, when I see her pop her head over, I'm going to shoot, not very accurately with my. All right, so I'm not going to do automatic fire. Actually, I don't think I can because I'm an Overwatch. So I do not have ranged combat, so I'm just straight agility. So 3 dice. No. So I just shoot and miss.
Does your gun have any pluses? Maybe your gun has a plus.
My gun's 1+. Thank you. Yes, it does have 1+.
She dodges it. She points the pistol at you, and then she thinks about it, and she turns around and points the pistol at the reactor core.
Oh shit!
And she says, "Put it down, or I will shoot. I will blow us all to hell."
That doesn't seem very nice.
Why? Why are you doing this?
I don't have a choice. And you see her hand shake a little bit. She points it towards the she keeps it focused on the reactor core, and you hear click as she, looks like she's really about to fire at the thing.
Yeah. Is there any way to jump in the way or anything like that?
I mean, you can try to stand in front of it, but yeah.
You said you would?
I mean, who technically has it?
Yeah, I mean,
I think I have it.
It's large and unwieldy, but you can't really carry it while fighting with it, or while fighting. But you could stand in front of it.
I would put my body between it and her. So
yeah, I imagine that when this started to go down, I just kind of set it on the ground real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you can move in front of it when it's your turn. So now she's pointing at it, and she would be able to get a shot off before anyone could, send her. Whether she'd hit it or not, I don't know. But
yeah, she has like Overwatch on, right, or whatever it is. So she.
So who's go in the initiative order? Is it right now? Still hers?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't even really talk to her. Or
I'm
anything.
going to say to him, I'm going to say, we can help you.
You can't help me. Only the icon can help me, not your false icons. And she's sort of like keeping her eye still on the thing with her pistol pointed at it. She nods her head in the direction of the monolith.
Oh, okay. Hold on one second. I want to check something because this might be the perfect time to use it. I have the Faceless One talent.
Nice. That requires a darkness point, right? Or that gives me a darkness point, right?
It does, yeah, but I gotta see what it does because I know I can change something physically, but I don't know how it works exactly. So I just want to read it before because since she called upon my icon, it'd be awesome if I could use that against her.
Yeah.
So let me just quickly look. Faceless One. I love the way this book looks, but it's so hard to find anything.
Hmm.
I should just start putting like
little tabs or something.
Yeah, little tabs where stuff is. Technology worthy icon talents.
They should be around page 70 something.
Okay.
Yeah, page 71 they start. The faceless ones.
Okay, Faceless One. Where am I? Icon talents, faceless. Phase on your side, giving you the benefit of getting to change a single concrete detail in the scene more to your favor. It must be something that is cosmetic or indirectly helpful effect. It can't make an enemy disappear, but you can decide that there's a knife within the reach or that a window is open to the left. What I want to do with this is I want to change that. Actually, Roya is standing in front of it.
All right. Yeah. So, yeah, Roya's managed to kind of like get herself subtly in front of the thing, slowly, and she says, "Get out of the way, or I'll shoot you." And then she does. She pulls the trigger and shoots at Roya.
Yeah, that's fine. That's the whole idea.
And she misses, but fortunately, it doesn't hit the reactor core.
Okay, and of course, well, it's my turn. I'm going to shoot her back.
Hey, try to just shoot her gun arm.
I'm just going to shoot her. Hopefully,
you can't kill anybody unless you do crits. So basically, if you don't want to kill them, if that's what you're getting at, then you just don't choose to do a crit. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. I want her to explain.
Like unconscious, basically.
Yeah, we want to capture her and make her talk, but
yeah, just don't do any crits then.
So whose turn is it?
I'm not sure.
It is back to the top of the order. So yeah, Ines.
Oh, it's me. Okay.
Yeah.
Use the force, Luke.
I'm terrible with my gun, but I guess I have no other choice because I'm worse with melee combat. So I'm gonna just point at her. She's right there. I'm just gonna try to shoot her with my rifle, and I'm gonna say, you are following a false idol. And actually, I actually got one success. Hold on, no, I get 4, right? What's my agility? So I get
Yeah, you got 4.
One success. So I do 3 damage, unless she has armor to block it, but I have 1 success.
Okay. Yeah. She definitely takes a pretty heavy hit from you. And at this point, she's fairly badly injured. She's still bleeding from the wound in her shoulder that she took before, and now she's got a bleeding wound in her side. She does seem to have some kind of light armor on underneath her, layers of clothes, but it doesn't seem to have done much good because you can see the blood starting to soak through her layers of heavy clothing, and her arm is kind of shaking. And her face kind of twists, and she shakes her head and she says, I can't let you take it. And she just sort of continues pointing her weapon at Rhea, who she's just shot, and it's Rhea's turn.
Can I do a cult shot on her weapon?
I'm not really sure how that works exactly, but I'd say that's probably going to be really difficult. So.
Or shoot her arm.
I think if you get
exactly. That's exactly right. That's exactly how you do it. You can shoot her if you get extra successes. Then you can use the extra successes to do stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll just shoot her. See how many 6s I get. Oh, you're kidding! I only got 1 success, so I just shoot her.
Yeah.
It's a
2?
Vulcan. It's a Vulcan pistol.
Okay. So you don't have your damage written down.
No,
Me too.
I never used this weapon before.
Okay.
Sorry, change pages.
No problem.
Yes, you jammed my other weapon.
Yeah.
Blame the GM.
It's 2 damage. Okay. Yeah, she she gets more armor. Nope. She takes another heavy hit. She kind of like almost falls down, but she just continues holding the gun, and she won't let up. It seems that she would, she's gonna let you take her out before she'll give up. Mary's turn.
Alrighty. So to shoot her, try and talk to her. I'm gonna try and do the same thing. I'm gonna try to get the called shot, or try to hopefully get extra successes and take the gun out. Let's see what happens here. Make sure I roll the right number of dice again here. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 1 for the pistol. Okay. This time, shit, just got 1.
Like me.
Out of 7 dice, I got 1.
What's the damage?
2.
Her armor is really sucking today. She kind of tries to take one more staggering step forward, and you see her finger go to squeeze around the trigger, and then she passes out and falls to the ground.
Okay, we'll take her any hand-to-hand weapon she has on her, and we probably tie her up.
And as you are stooping over her to tie her up, you see this like flash of light from the direction of the monolith, and something sort of starts to emerge from the hole near the ground, from the pit behind it.
No. I think I'm gonna run for the ship. I was telling everybody my comms. I'm gonna go for the ship's cannon.
Oh, nice.
And you see this you see this large form sort of lift itself up from this hole, and it's like this spindly glowing thing that it seems to have like about 20 pairs of wings that just flap and unfurl behind it, and it has like this all of these sort of tusk-like protrusions coming from its face, and it's just surrounded by this glow that makes it difficult to see much more of its features. But it's this massive hulking thing, probably almost 10 feet tall, that's just emanating light, and it floats there.
Ouch. All right. Yeah. I yell, get in the transport.
Yeah, I'm running for the ship.
Oh, grease Jesus. Okay.
And hoping it's finished its reboot. Unless it says, please press OK. Like, no.
So I would like for, as you're doing this, I would like for Roya to give me a wits roll.
Wits roll, straight wits. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, a 3 and a 2 and a 2.
Alrighty. Okay. All right. So, just a second. 1 second here. So as you guys start rushing for the hovercraft, you see a strange look come over Roy's eyes. I need Morgan to check his facial expressions.
Okay. Well, he's running towards the ship, so I'm somewhat ignoring him. I think I'm going to.
You guys. In fact, you guys probably have to make an observation roll to even notice anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to get Maris to help me get the reactor onto the hovercraft so we can get the hell out of here.
Mm.
I mean, I'm assuming we already have Naya on the hovercraft, or we didn't have time for that.
I know. I think that Maris thinks that's an outstanding idea.
Yeah, I mean, if not, then if he's throwing that on there, I'll throw her on there because I don't want to leave her. And I have another question: Do we need to roll? Do we need to have the pilot skill in order to be able to drive the hover bike?
No, you just need to have the pilot skill if there's if some sort of challenge comes up that I think you can just drive it normally, but like if there's some problem, then
I feel like I need to get on the hover bike. It's reaching that moment.
Yeah. All right.
So I'm gonna take the hover bike.
All
We
right.
might need it.
And what's Roy doing?
Oh, I'm gonna head towards the floating thing, our hovering platform, right? So suddenly Roya stops going towards the ship, turns around, and heads towards the hovering platform thing that we.
The hovering creature thing, you mean?
No, our hovering.
Your hovercraft.
Our hovercraft, because that's.
Okay.
Right, because.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool because that's what I called out for you to do. So I definitely don't think it's weird.
Yeah. All right.
Unless something prevents me from it, as soon as I get on that hover bike and I guess Maris is on the hovercraft, I look back, I see him there loading everything up. I take off.
Okay.
Not super fast. I don't want to be by myself, but I like, do like a donut or whatever.
Okay.
I'm getting ready to go.
Yeah. Where is the reactor core, by the way, right now?
I assume Maris loaded onto the.
Yeah, it's on. I'm assuming it's on our hovercraft. Also with
Okay,
Naya.
so Maris is getting on the hovercraft, and Roy is getting on the hovercraft with Maris.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Yeah, and if everybody's secure and starts going, I'll drive the hover bike and I guess follow because maybe they should go first.
Okay.
I'm assuming we're going to try to go fast because it's a monster.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm going to try to go fast.
Okay, so who's supposed to go next?
You're out of initiative.
Oh,
for the moment.
So as you drive the hovercraft away, Roya grabs the core to steady it and then picks it up and jumps off the hovercraft.
He jumps off the hovercraft with the core?
With the core.
All right. Give me I guess probably a dexterity roll to see if you get, injured or, knocked over in this attempt as you try to jump off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, hey, this is where my curse of no sixes works. I rolled 6 dice 6 and got no sixes.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of you roll around on the ground. You're prone, still clutching the thing. But it'll take you a second to kind of get to your feet.
Okay, what I want to do since I'm behind and he does this, I'm gonna drive at him with the hover bike and try to grab the core.
Okay. Make I guess probably that would be an opposed dexterity check, I suppose.
Okay.
All right, I'm shitty with dexterity. So I got 5.
I got 2 successes.
Oh, great.
How many did you get?
I got none. I'm praying to the icon.
So I missed. Why was Roya doing this? Or do we not know?
You're not sure yet.
No.
You just grabbed it and jumped, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, I only got 1 success. So even with praying to the dancer, I don't get it, I guess.
No. All right. Yeah, you try to grab for it, but she's pretty low down on the ground and clutching it. So she's successfully able to avoid your.
Yeah.
So I think we're actually in initiative again, but I think we're actually gonna leave it here. And so Morgan can't make it to the next session anyhow, right? Is that correct? Unless we can find some way to reschedule it.
When's the next session?
The next session would be on the 23rd. Wait, no, the 22nd. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I'm running with 6 GM's play test. So
Yeah.
for Silicon.
I mean,
But
it's
no,
a while before then. It's possible that we might be able to find some other time that works for everyone. We'll see. For now, it's going to be the 22nd. But
Yeah.
Can I
Mhm.
just add a little that they see I'm running back towards
yeah.
that way? So that should be where, this happens. She's jumped off of the core, she's picking it up, and now she's running back towards the creature.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I kind of assumed that. That's why I tried to grab it from you. I didn't assume that you were running away. I thought you were running toward this way. Okay, good.
As far as the scheduling the game, I'm pretty flexible.
Yeah.
For the most part. So, and I'm pretty much going to be changing my schedule now to where I get off work at 3:30 every day. Cool. At least through the spring, summer, and hopefully early fall. So, whenever, I'm good.
Okay. Well, we can talk about it and see if we can find a time that might work then for both Daniel and Morgan. If we, because that would be cool if everybody could, be around for the second session, especially because we only got 3 people now.
Yeah, I think that because of that reason, we should try to work.
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Waiting an extra week, I'm good with that too.
Yeah, better than bringing in another person.
Yeah, extra week, I'm okay. The 29th.
Okay. The 29th? Cool. All right. Would that work?
Or even next week, but that's Easter Sunday. So.
What, Easter? Easter's already gone.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. Next week I'm busy.
Yeah, that's finding a way.
Yeah, so
I think I have something that weekend anyway. So.
Yeah, 29th.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, if that works for you, Daniel.
Yep.
All right, cool, perfect. Then that'll just be 1 week later, but we'll be able to wrap everything up then.
So same time. Okay.
Yeah. Great. I'll try to remember to make the event so that you don't forget. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right, cool. I'm gonna stop the broadcast.